The name knuckleball comes from a baseball pitch held with the knuckles rather than the fingertips, which doesn't spin as it travels. Now, no ball is a perfect sphere, so as it travels, it creates ever-changing pockets of turbulent air, causing that unpredictable movement. Brazilian free-kick specialist Juninho Pernambucano wasn't the first player to do it, but he did perfect it, scoring 77 free-kicks over his career, more than anyone else. He was inspired by 90s midfielder Marcelinho Carioca and a guy called Didi, who was hitting knuckleballs in the 50s and 60s. Brazilians call it the dry leaf, because the ball looks like a leaf that gets blown around in the wind this way and that. So how do you do it? The key point is to hit the ball head-on, usually with a straighter run-up. It's a punch-like shot and, crucially, as short a contact time as possible so the ball doesn't spin. Some people think players hit the valve to affect the air inside the ball. That's not the reason. It's because the part of the ball around the valve is more rigid, helping to shorten that contact time. Remember the David Luiz beauty against Colombia in the 2014 World Cup? We don't really see knuckleballs anymore. Why? Because players are being told not to shoot from dead ball situations because the XG is so low. In fact, as Opta shows here, since the 08-09 season, there's been a 10% reduction in players shooting from free kicks in the Premier League. In 23-24, a record low of 11 free kicks found the back of the net. And the knuckleball, by its very nature, is imprecise, which is why it's becoming a thing of the past.
Good morning, welcome along to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn Aherne, joined by former Chelsea and Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino.
Good morning, everybody.
Go on, big deep breath in. Wipe those tears away for Ireland.
Well done.
Gonna be okay.
I just about forgot it now.
I know.
I'm over it. Anyway.
We're going to have to talk about that today, Cass. I'll give you a moment.
Yep.
Ben White went from hero to villain as England were held to a frustrating draw against Uruguay, and despite giving the Three Lions the lead, there was a mixed reaction to the man that put them ahead.
For the last 4 years, as I never play for England again. Now he scored potentially a winner for his country. Ben White from 10 inches out, and England lead Uruguay 1-0.
Didn't realise Ben White was a mass murderer. That's weird, isn't it? Why treat someone like that? After the game, England manager Thomas Tuchel wasn't pleased by the crowd's behaviour towards the Arsenal defender.
I will always protect my players. He did so well in training, and he scored for us, so it could have been a perfect comeback. But it was mixed reactions. It was not only boos, some cheered, so let's hope we put this behind us.
We'll get Cass's thoughts on whether Ben White should have been booed by the England fans. And Alan Brazil's favourite child, Moses Atoma, takes on Jermaine Franklin as the headline act of this weekend's Magnificent Seven in Manchester, and legendary boxing trainer Joe Gallagher thinks Atoma has potential to be one of the greats.
There's an elite level weight in the heavyweights, and that's your Tyson Fury and your Usyk. Is he on that level? He's about to get on that level with a good performance this weekend, but I'm convinced he can do something. I'm not convinced yet. Has he got the potential to do that? Yes, he has.
No pressure, Big Moses. Don't forget, you can hear Moses Atoma takes on Jermaine Franklin live on talkSPORT from 8 o'clock tonight. Lots coming up. We'll get stuck into it all, and we couldn't do it without you. 03717 223344 is the number to give us a wee bell. 81089 if you want to send a text message. I have the screen, I have the power. Good morning, it's the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. Good morning, Cass.
Good morning, Shebahn. And everybody out there.
Good morning, yeah. We're into half term.
Yeah, just started.
The juggle gets real.
It's quite long, isn't it, now, the Easter break?
Oh, Who's making up the Easter dates? Who comes up with Easter? So I'm looking right at you because you know everything, but because last year, I'm sure it was like 3 weeks later than it was this year. So why are you nodding your head like I have to be okay with that? It's like we have to change Christmas. Sam, tell me the information. Just looking at those adverts of Rory winning the Masters.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, how is that?
A year ago.
Yeah, but almost 3 weeks earlier than what it should have been.
Well, they've sort of rescheduled the Masters a few times, haven't they, over the last few years? They have changed.
But why are we rescheduling Easter?
I don't know. I
It's
just
to
know.
do with the lunar calendar.
I just know that the Masters, I love it. It's my favourite time of the year and it's upon us.
Best sporting event? One of the best sporting events.
It'd be up there without a doubt. I love watching the Masters. It's the one golf. Well, I watch quite a lot of golf because I do enjoy the sport. But I can sit on my couch and I don't want to be disturbed for literally 4 days. It's a hard one to get away with, by the way.
Yeah, no, I know.
But I try.
See, Jamie did the Masters weekend. Oh, there's a couple of the guys, going to meet with get out my sight. Right. I would also quite like to watch the Masters as well, by the way. And then he goes on his 5-day golf trip after that.
Yeah.
So yeah, golf is at that stage now, isn't it? Looking out the window this morning, the sun's coming up, everyone's getting out there for a 7 o'clock tea time.
I remember when I first started playing football, and we'd get weekends off and like Sunday morning. So say weekends, we'd play Saturday, but I meant Sundays. We'd get Sunday off and we didn't have to go to the training ground. And I'd always do the first tee off down in Lingfield Park Golf Club, and go and play there. Charlton Park it was called, sorry. But it is in Lingfield. And I used to do the 7 when it was just turning, the night was ending and it was just turning.
Nice.
Lovely. Gone. Yeah, really. And I loved it. And I used to do that nearly every Sunday with pals. We'd go there and play golf. Just play the game on the Saturday. Bit tired, but what a time to go and play golf.
Once the marathon's out of the way, I'm sticking to it. Once the marathon's out of the way, I'll get back out on the golf course.
Yeah, great.
Be rubbish as usual. Should be fun. Let's speak about England last night.
We had to talk a bit too long there because we ain't got a lot of conversation about last night, have we?
Well, the whole lunar calendar thing, I mean, that's up for a 3-hour chat. Seriously? Like, why are they changing Easter? And who's chief lunar calendar operator who says, Easter's going to be middle of the month next year? Or does it just appear in your calendar? So many questions, probably not the time for the conversation. Fine, we'll talk about England last night. It was a cracker. England held to a 1-1 draw against Uruguay at Wembley. As ever, it was live here on talkSPORT.
And Foden almost able to win it, and Araujo going in really strong, and that was a poor challenge, and Tuchel's furious, and he's right in the face of the 4th official, Benjamin Brand, complaining about that challenge. Maguire as well, it's a little flick header, it's in, and England finally have the breakthrough. Ben White from 10 inches out, and England lead Uruguay 1-0. Now the referee's been called over to the monitor, and the VAR has told him to come over and have a look.
He's given a penalty.
And the Uruguayan supporters absolutely jubilant. A penalty is given in stoppage time. Yellow card is shown to White. And Uruguay will have the chance from the penalty spot. James Trafford on his international debut. Can he deny? Fede Valverde from the penalty spot. No, he can't. It's slid into the bottom left-hand corner, not quite from Trafford, who went the right way. Valverde wheels away, celebrates with real gusto in front of the Uruguayan supporters. And this is going to end 1-1.
That's how it sounded live for you here on talkSPORT last night with a top team out at Wembley. Not the most exciting of games, was it, Cassie? Yes, it's a friendly.
No.
But did you expect a bit more from England?
No, I look, when you have a 35-man squad and you end up selecting and then playing players that are not going to get the full 90 minutes and you're going to make a lot of changes, I think as well I'd add into Uruguay made it a bit of a stop-start game. The momentum, England couldn't get any momentum going. I thought the 2 centre-forwards, the 2 DOMs, didn't really. Dominic Solanke found it hard to get an opportunity. Dominic Calvert-Lewin had one, didn't take it. The biggest disappointment for me, because I think he's a terrific footballer, and it weren't that long ago, it feels it's nearly coming up to 2 years, at the Football Writers' Dinner that he was given Football Writers' Player of the Year, is Phil Foden. I don't know what I'm looking at the moment with Phil, and I'm totally confused how such a gifted young lad, because now he's 25, is not playing. I mean, his set pieces were awful last night. So many misplaced crosses, just not getting it right. And you can clearly see that Phil's struggling. And it's been affected because he's been in and out of the Man City team as well. And he's such a good footballer. He just can't seem to find his way at the moment.
Is there a bit of pressure on him, maybe?
Well, it's probably the first time. Look, you have to remember with young lads, when they're coming through, Shebahn, they're the shining light. He's one of our own. He comes in, he does brilliantly, and he's going to be the future star. He's going to take over Kevin De Bruyne. And all of this sort of conversation happens. But when he faces the first time in his career, and I've had this myself, so I can relate, and I've spoke to players about this. When you have the first downturn and you start being left out by your manager at club level, and then you're not quite, in the starting 11 for England, and he's sort of lost his way, Phil. But I just hope he can reignite his career. He really needs to, because at the moment, I don't think Phil's going on the plane.
Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? It really is. Like you say, with the talent that we know that's there. Speaking of Phil Foden, there was a challenge on him, I think should have been a red card last night. Also, Agarte.
Yeah.
Lucky, I think, to have stayed on the pitch as well. Ben White comes on to a kind of a fair amount of booze. And then he scores the goal. Well, taps it in and gets booed. And then he concedes the penalty. Cass, the game's gone. That's not a penalty.
No, don't start. I mean, I've had this conversation with you numerous times, Shebahn. I don't get
week
penalties.
in, week out now.
Well, it's. I mean, look, I even say, look, we'll go back to Republic of Ireland midweek.
Never a penalty.
Never a penalty. And look, we're all sitting there delighted because it's for us.
Yeah.
But it's never a pen. And we're seeing this foot raise. By the way, last night with Ben White, both players got their feet up high, and you could argue that one's as foul as much as the other. And this is where we are in the game. And this is why I've always said, if we keep going down this regulation of what is deemed a penalty and what's not, and then we just keep getting closer and closer to the ludicrous, and we're at the ludicrous stage now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's never a penalty.
Has Ben White done enough to throw his hand up to Thomas Tuchel, put me on that plane?
No, not at the moment. He's only played a bit part. He's ended up getting a goal, but I don't think Ben will make it. Look, the boos, people get angry that you didn't, you left the camp, if you like, and you didn't want to be a part. But you have to remember that sometimes personal things go on within a camp that we know nothing about. And if you have a disagreement and you end up holding your hand up and walking out, none of us know the real truth. We know bits of it. I mean, I've been told stuff, but it's nothing that wants really him being booed. It's just a difference of opinion.
Yeah. And we don't know the full story.
No.
I can't get my head around. I can't, Cass, I can't think that way. I know it's people expressing their displeasure and that Ben White walked out in his country. Guys, they weren't going to war. He said he wasn't available for selection. That's what Gareth Southgate said. Yeah. And we know that maybe, we think something happened between him and Steve Collins. Okay, let it go. Let it go. You boo a player like that coming on. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. The only thing I'd say, there are certain people that will think and believe that if you turn your back on your country not to play football for them and you leave a camp during a tournament, that you should never play again. Now, whether I don't agree with that, but that's their reasoning. They think it's the ultimate betrayal. They make you feel like you're a traitor. And really, things go on in camps. Roy Keane left in 2002 under a disagreement.
And do the Irish hate him?
Yeah. Well, no, they don't. They love
exactly.
Roy. And this happens. The disagreements happen, and if players leave, who's really to blame?
Yeah. It's an interesting conversation because I've never been in an elite sport dressing room. It's never happened to me. You have. But I also think people should stay true to themselves. Ben White hasn't really put a foot wrong in his career apart from that moment where he's maybe backed himself and went, no, for my own personal reason, I'm going to do this. And now his country and his fans boo him ahead of a World Cup. I find it baffling. If I'm wrong, call me. Tell me why. 03717 223344 81089. Keep the messages coming in on this. It really is loud boos, isn't it? We'll hear the clip again a little bit later on. Coming up for you today, by the way. Action-packed. Scotland, the Bonnie Scots. today go against Japan. That should be a good game. 5 o'clock tonight. We've got matches in League One. It's non-league weekend, people. We've got a full programme in League Two and a full day of derbies in the Women's Super League. Everton, Liverpool at 12, Man United, Man City at 1:30, and Arsenal Spurs is the 5:30 game tonight as well. Lots of rugby to get stuck into. More on that coming up. England fans, is it time to forgive Ben White? 03717 223344. And are you concerned about last night's performance? Stuart Pearce, former England captain, said last night on talkSPORT, let's judge it over the 2 games, shall we? Let's wait and see what happens on Tuesday. The full England debrief is available now on the talkSPORT Daily podcast. Stay with us until 9 and then you can go and listen to that. Former England captain Stuart Pearce alongside Adrien, Durham and Jim Proudfoot. Available now on the talkSPORT Daily podcast on the talkSPORT app. Coming up soon, we're going to get Cass to pick his England starting lineup for the World Cup if it was to take place tomorrow. And coming up, sorry Cass, time for a sob story. Ireland's World Cup playoff semi-final penalty shootout exit on Thursday. We'll get into that. It's the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter, working with you.
Stefan, the cost of missing out on the Champions League. If I throw 4 at you here, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United or Newcastle, missing out in Champions League, who would feel it most?
Yeah, I think Newcastle would definitely feel it the most, just because the base they're coming off is that much smaller. So therefore the proportion that's associated with Champions League football is that much bigger. And they probably did something like £55 million of UEFA money. And then on top of that, obviously had the 5 home games on top, which are, or 6, probably 6 actually, when you, I think they had a playoff. So that's 6 home games on top. I mean, that's obviously very significant. So you're talking about 75 million quid out of revenue of, let's say, 300 this season. You know, it's quite a big drop next season if it's not there. Now, obviously, they may get Europa or the conference. The conference doesn't really move the dial at all. And Europa, you have to win it really to make a meaningful difference. And that then brings you a Champions League place. So I think Newcastle will feel it the most. But it will definitely be painful for the others. It will be painful for Manchester United. It doesn't look like they're going to miss out. But if they did, of course, that would be the 2nd consecutive season.
And Lady Gaga was born.
Yeah.
Tune.
I like the The Queen, Radio Gaga.
I love them too.
Yeah.
I can't focus because your headpiece is all up your head. Hold on. Stay with me. Let me fix Cassie's in here. There we go. There we go. We got it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no.
Plugged them
Actually,
in.
because she did Star is Born, didn't she? Radio Gaga. Yeah, I thought she.
Bradley Cooper. Mhm.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper.
And
Yeah.
that's the third time A Star is Born had been.
Yeah, well, Christopherson was in the original,
There
wasn't
you
he?
go. Uh-huh.
I think with Barbara Streisand.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah,
And the other
yeah.
one will come to us.
Yeah.
Someone will tell.
That's even. Yeah.
It's Gaga's birthday today.
How old? Carl, don't let me. I'm always get these ages wrong. She
Please
can't be
don't.
that old. She can only be.
Please take 10 years off.
I was going to say 32.
Oh, no, that's nice.
What is she?
She's 40.
Oh, is she really? Oh,
Big birthday, Gaga. Yeah, she's incredible.
it feels like yesterday she was just a kid coming on the scene. It does though, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're right. It does.
It's like,
I remember she was backup to the Pussycat Dolls.
was she really?
And I remember being there and watching her sing Just Dance and being like, who's this? She's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know her real name?
No.
Stephanie Germotta.
Gamotta.
Germanotta.
Germanotta.
Stephanie Germanotta.
No, I wouldn't have never got that.
Happy birthday, Gags. And if you like other random tangents, don't forget the latest episode of 21 Minutes to Go, the podcast, is available for you now. It's Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy. Finally, they've lost the plot, back together this week in conversation about moves between whiskey-loving primates and some questionable school attendance records. So they are together for 21 minutes to go. Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy. It's available on the talkSPORT app or wherever you get your podcasts. And what about yesterday when Sir David Becks?
Yeah, I listened. I was in the car driving. Yeah, I thought it was a brilliant interview. And he gave so much Beckham, you know. You could tell he really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, Becks is a massive fan of Drive, isn't he? He's a big fan of talkSPORT. So to be like out and about in the car and in the country and think, I'll text Andy.
He's getting quite a few big friends, Goldstein, isn't he now? He's going a bit up the up market.
You know when we like guess our dinner party guests? That is his dinner party guests. You know, him, Robbie.
I love the fact, Shebahn, that Beckham just really enjoyed it. You could tell.
Yeah. Nice that he picked up the phone. Don't worry, you can listen back to David Beckham on Drive on the talkSPORT app or on the talkSPORT YouTube channel, and also 21 minutes to go wherever it is you get your podcasts. Sadly, there won't be another representative from the home nations or Ireland at the World Cup this summer following a disappointment night in the World Cup playoff semi-finals. So the Republic of Ireland lost on penalties to Czechia. That was on Thursday night. Also, Wales lost on penalties following the draw with Bosnia despite hitting the woodwork twice. And Northern Ireland were beaten by Italy 2-0. Cass, let's start with your own Republic of Ireland. I know you're just about getting over it, but do you want to open up that wound?
Well, I'm just about getting over that 20-foot wall, yeah. Disappointed. We've been knocked out by a very bang average Czech Republic team. They really are. I can't believe we've gone out to them in the manner of getting a 2-0 lead. Yes, a soft penalty and an own goal. Hit the post, woodwork, bar. And so much to look back on. And I think the standout feature for me was that our squad size.
Yeah.
If you take that by the end of the game, we've got Harvey Val coming on, who's QPR, who's a talented lad. But he's, we're down to bare bones because obviously Smodic gets serious injury. But we just run out of legs in the second half, and we weren't very streetwise. And that stood out for me as well. A lot of players had been injured during the course of a season, but played. I mean, Brady had come in. Obviously, you can go to Seamus Coleman as well. Missed a lot of football this year. Hadn't played since November. The adrenaline took him a long way. That always does when you first come back. Your adrenaline of the game can get you a long way. But we had a few that were certainly missed quite a bit of football this season. And I think this will sit as badly as any defeat for Ireland. Getting knocked out, because I'm telling you, everybody, Denmark will beat them. Denmark will beat them. I'm sure. I'm convinced of it.
Do you think Denmark would have beaten Ireland?
They would have had a decent chance, yeah, because they're a good side. I mean, you got past them with Scotland, and they showed how dangerous they could be. But fair play, Scotland got it over the line. we could have done a similar thing. I don't think Czech Republic, to me, have got that quality. I mean, they were so direct. The amount of times the game was disrupted, and we look. And I don't want to make him a scapegoat, because Ryan Manning's made a really poor decision to pull the shirt at 2-0. That has cost us dearly. I don't know what he was thinking in the moment. We all make crazy decisions every now and again. He's pulled his shirt, and the evidence of that was that because the first penalty we got on Nathan Collins was so soft, you just know if you're a player, you're thinking, whatever we do, don't make a rash challenge, don't pull anybody's shirt, don't grab hold of anybody, because he's going to give a penalty, the referee, and he did.
Yeah.
I know it went to VAR, and they've ended up going, have a look at it, and he's give a pen. But these sort of incidents are going to be regular for us. We have to get used to. I don't like it, but we're going to have to get used to really soft, in some ways, ridiculous penalties.
I think you're right. We need to get on board with it now. That is what it is. Shame for Ireland. It really is. It's a shame for Wales and for Northern Ireland, just when you thought one of the home nations or Ireland could get there as well. It's not to be. It's all over for them in terms of this journey to the World Cup. The fallout of that will continue. You can let us know your thoughts on it this morning. Wales fans, Northern Ireland fans, 03717 2233 81089. Italy will face Bosnia on Tuesday night for a place in the final.
Just a quick one. 7:15. I'm going to give you a few numbers. I want to try and see what people think of it. I looked at a bit of data on the 4 games regarding Northern Ireland, Wales, Ireland, and England, and just see what it just tells me a little bit of a story of where international football is.
Interesting. Hang on for that on talkSPORT Weekend Breakfast. Don't forget, we're going to be bringing you all of the commentary, 104 matches from the World Cup this summer on the talkSPORT network. England and Scotland will be there, and we're looking forward to the World Cup. Right, it's time to head out and about, speak to fans travelling around the country today, heading to a game. We'll speak to a couple of non-league fans next on the Weekend Breakfast.
You played in Korea and Japan, didn't you? World Cup in 2002. Did you find it hard, the weather conditions to play in?
They are tough, and in South Africa as well. We played a game, and then the altitude, the ball moves different and everything. And if you're not used to it, as we know, we all love to go on holiday in the summer, but playing football, running around in that heat and that weather, it takes its toll at the time, and we're just not a nation that's used to that. So that's one of the major things I look at when it comes to that tournament being over there.
What about strikers? We know Harry Kane's going to go, but if you looked at the Euros, he was injured, wasn't he? And Gareth Southgate was still playing game. Maybe they didn't trust other strikers in the squads. What do you think of tonight? Do you think Solanke and Calvert-Lewin have to put in a performance?
I think it's their chance of breaking in, isn't it? It's their chance of solidifying themselves in that talk of being the one to take over, because we really don't know who's going to take over from Harry Kane or what it's going to look like after he leaves. I was always an advocate for Ollie Watkins, because he just gives you something different.
Yes.
At times, Kane comes to feet a lot. He's fantastic at turning, sliding people in and then getting shots off, etc. But what about sometimes you get in behind? And that's what Ollie Watkins gives you. But one thing you got to remember, we've got two left wingers that actually have played up front.
Yeah.
Gordon played in the Euro. I think they won the Euros under 21s, and he was a forward playing up front.
It's the weekend breakfast on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn Aherne, alongside former Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino. I have big news, big news. So you know we were talking about Easter?
Yeah.
Changing all the time. Easter is always the first Sunday after the first full moon that occurs after the spring equinox. So that's easy to remember, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
All that said, when is Easter next year? How'd they come up with that nonsense? Right, some of your headlines this morning. Jurgen Klopp says Mo Salah could carry on playing until the age of 40. After the forward announced he will leave Liverpool at the end of the season, Tara Jones will become the first woman to referee a men's Super League game. She's been officiating since the age of 12, alongside a successful playing career for St Helens. And the England national team, she will ref Wigan Warriors against Huddersfield Giants this afternoon. Loads of the rugby coming for you over on talkSPORT too. And Roy Hodgson has made a shock return to football after being appointed as Bristol City boss until the end of the season. The 78-year-old first joined the Robins back in 1982.
Yes.
You remember it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't remember Roy being there, but I mean, I've been lucky, Shebahn. I've had a couple of chats with Roy over the years, and he's like the drug of football always gets you.
Yeah.
And Roy's obsessed with it. He's loved it. He's done it all his life, and he's a very interesting man, a very smart man as well, by the way.
Yeah, obviously just completely addicted to it. 78 years old. Back to it. talkSPORT's reporter Lawrence Mora believes Hodgson is the perfect man to steer the ship until the end of the season.
In many ways, the club is light years ahead of where it was when he came in. So he's done so much good there, but there is that frustration of how do you bridge that next gap? How do you go from that mid-table championship into a regular playoff contender for the Premier League? And that takes a lot of money and a lot of investment. There has been talk, I think we've contacted each other before, Alex, in terms of potential investment coming into Bristol City. Steve has very openly said that he's open for either new investment or even to sell the club. So yeah, they're out there looking at the moment for a sporting director. It feels like they're going with a new direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see. It's also random as well. Do you think as well, if we keep focusing on the older managers who have been there and done it, or senior managers, we're missing out on the youth coming through?
Well, no, I think there has to be a fair balance, and sometimes if it's necessary, you need someone with a more been there, done it over many different ways in many different countries. You'd go, fine, but let him come and have a go at trying to keep, obviously Bristol City are mid-table, aren't they? So they're not in danger of going down, but getting really something towards the end of the season that just gets it back on the straight and narrow. I mean, I've never this ageism thing. I just ignore it really. If someone's good at what they do, it's a bit like Martin O'Neill going back to Celtic. If he's good at what he does and gets a better outcome for the football club, go with it. It's the same if a young lad comes in and gets an opportunity. There always will be young lads that will get experience and learning off these guys as well. Well said.
Well said. By the way, speaking of experience, Spurs reportedly weighing up sending relegation SOS to Sean Dyche. So we should know more about that today, because Sean Dyche is going to be on air here on talkSPORT today with Johnny Owen covering a show again. So I'm sure Johnny will put that on his list of things to ask Sean Dyche today here on talkSPORT. Okay, it's time now for this. About a game today. It's non-league weekend, by the way, as well. So our latest trips of the week, we're going to be dropping into non-league because it's non-league days. So it's time for us to celebrate all things non-league. How many times can you say non-league in one sentence? Bosh, just talked it. And the Hardy fans who travel up and down the country to support their team. What is it? You're going to say something?
No, I want to know. Come on. What non-league club are we starting with?
Southend.
Southend, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
My team today will be Carlisle.
Carlisle, they're going really well.
Yeah, near Scotland. You've gone with Southend. So let's speak to a couple of fans heading to their matches today. Cass, representing your side, Southend, making the 456-mile round trip to Southport in the FA Trophy. Good morning to Liam. Liam, how are you today?
Hi, Liam.
Yeah, good. How are you all?
Yeah, good. Liam, my first question I've got to ask you, because my dad used to work at Southend at Roots Hall on the market. Is that market still going?
I don't think so. No, you can still have a good time on a Saturday afternoon, but I don't know about on the Thursdays. I think
That's a shame, then, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a shame. Look, and again, just personal, because you got John still there, a head of football, isn't he? Still there, John?
That's right. Yeah, he's the head of football.
Yeah, and so look, you've had a decent enough season. You've seemed to be sort of around that playoff type of spot, really, don't you?
Yeah, I think, we played quite well this season. We've had a lot of big wins, like we've almost on the record for like wins by 3-goal margin. We've been around 7th all year, which is much better than where we were last year, sort of hovering mid-table until we had a late season run. So it looks pretty good at the moment. We're sort of set for the run-in. The FA Trophy run has been really nice as well. So we're one game away from Wembley there, and we're well positioned with 7 or 8 games left to end up in the playoffs as well.
Yeah.
It's been good.
And tell us, because you get good support down at Southend, don't you?
We have the highest average crowds in the division. Yeah, we're sort of averaging about north of 8,000 this season, and we were sort of we might have been there last season as well, or maybe like 7-9, 7-8, something like that. But we do very well with crowds. We're a really well supported club. The fans, especially with all the turmoil at the club in the last few years, the fans have been loyal and increasingly interested in what's going on in the club. So it's the fan base is one of the most attractive, it's one of the biggest aspects of the club, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a trek today for you lot heading to this game, Southport. What time are you setting off? Who are you heading with?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you got me on, because I'm just about to get in the car. I live in Brighton, so I've got to go on my own today. Yeah, it is a trek. It's going to be like 5 hours. But you get to be in Merseyside at the end of it, so it's all worth it, isn't it?
Yeah, and you get to listen to the warm-up, and you get a bit of Johnny Owen and Sean Dyche as well on talkSPORT, so that's nice.
Yeah, there's no point in me having a digital radio, because it's always just tuned to talkSPORT all the time.
Well done, honestly. We'll get you back anytime you want to come back. And listen, are you just like strictly a Southend fan, or do you follow any Premier League team for maybe some like hopes of winning?
I follow Premier League teams in the sense of I've got hopes that they lose. The main one I can't decide at the moment is, do I want West Ham or Spurs to get relegated? But I have to say, I don't really care who wins. I personally, I'd like to see Arsenal win the title this year, just because sort of fed up of City doing it. But I could, I would not lose any sleep if Man City pit them at the line. But yeah, the biggest one at the moment is, do we want, because obviously, West Ham have a big footprint in Essex. At one point, they had a shop on Southend High Street trying to sell all their merch and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of bad blood going back there. West Ham fans wouldn't be aware of this. They would, it's all one way, right?
Yeah, it's sort of it's a bit like Dagenham, isn't it, for West Ham? Like Dagenham are very close to the east part of London, and like Southend, there was a huge contingent of West Ham fans in both areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as West Ham fans go, they probably aren't even aware that we exist for a lot of them. But they've rubbed our noses in it, or they've that shop on the high street was really, really put our noses out of joint. It was a long time ago, but football fans have a long memory.
They do.
So it's difficult to know whether we want them to go down or Spurs to go down.
Yeah.
My best ever goal that I got in English football was at Roots Hall for Gillingham, and it was a header, top corner, and it was a similar goal to the one that Mark Hateley scored against Inter Milan when he was playing for AC. The header. Do you remember that? Have you ever seen that header?
I wasn't there, no, but
not there.
It just goes to show that everybody has a positive memory of Roots Hall, don't they?
Yeah, great memories. Luckily, I played it a few times, and always a great atmosphere down there. So I'm glad to see it's going really well for you.
Yeah, Liam, good luck.
Thanks,
good luck today at your game, and good luck for the FA Trophy as well. Hopefully Southend can do it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Cheers.
Have a good day.
Right.
Take care of yourself, all right? Go safely today. 456-mile round trip. You can keep it talkSPORT on your journey. That's Liam Agger there, who is the Southend fan, making a big journey today. Now Carlisle fans going on that 598-mile round trip to Braintree. Very good morning to you, Skelly. How's it going, Skelly?
Yeah, all right, Matters. How's it going? Very well, very well.
You're
How's it
good
going?
crack,
How's it going?
I can tell already. Skelly. Did you sleep in? Be honest.
Honestly, yeah, absolutely, I did. Completely slept through the alarm. My mates, I've already got 2 missed calls off my mate asking me if I'm at work as well. So I apologise to everybody. I've caused a bit of mayhem this morning.
You've missed the game and everything, Skelly. You're going on a big trip today to Braintree for Carlisle fans. How are you feeling for this one?
I'm very well. I'm buzzing for it. I haven't been down that far in a long time, so I'm looking forward to the road trip for one. And then two, obviously, you know, you can't stop us from scoring goals at the moment. 7 goals in 2 games. So I'm absolutely buzzing for a road trip and hoping for a couple of goals to go with it.
So tell us, because it was a big shock when Mark Hughes went to Bradford and then he ends up in Carlisle. Tell us how you feel Mark's done. Obviously, you're at the right end of the table. You've got a great chance of going up. But tell us in general what you've seen of the influence of Mark Hughes at Carlisle.
It's been a bit of an up and down one for Mark Hughes, unfortunately. You know, it's the big reputation, but a lot of Carlisle United fans get a little bit frustrated. Sometimes the changes don't come when they want them to come. I think a lot of us were expecting just to sort of blitz the league, and so that's kind of created a little bit of frustration around Mark Hughes. And sometimes when the results don't go our way, it seems to be him rather than the players that are taking the brunt of it. And so maybe that's the genius of Mark Hughes, taking that pressure away from his players this season.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a good one today. It's a right old journey you're heading out on. Who are you heading there with?
Oh, I've got my mate Will. He'll be coming to pick us up now because I was supposed to go around there. So to save time, he'll have to come and pick me up now. So I'm in the doghouse.
I've got to ask you, just briefly, is there, because it's Carlisle and you have a lot of long journeys, do you ever get in the car and you're with your mate and you go, should we just stay home today?
Let's go to the pub and chill.
Yeah.
Never. No, not when you hit the road. No chance. No, not on an away day. It's the best day of the week.
I bet you this tune gets you up and ready for a big weekend at the football. Is that your alarm clock, Skelly?
I wish it was this morning rather than phones ringing.
Well, Carlisle fans and Carlisle players will be making their way out to this song today in that game against Braintree on non-league weekend here on talkSPORT. Skelly, good luck to you. Thanks for getting up for us and have a good game today.
Thank you so much for having us. And again, sorry.
Your laugh's brilliant. Thanks for getting up for us, Skelly. All the best to you and enjoy non-league
happy lad,
day.
wasn't he?
He's a very happy guy. He's a morning person, that's what he is. Remember, you can watch every National League match today and this coming Easter weekend live on NLTV or on DAZN. 03717 223344 is the number to get in touch on the show today. It's another huge Saturday here on talkSPORT. We'll keep you across absolutely everything. And we've got the Mornings Back pages coming up for you very soon. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter. Search VW Transporter to find out more.
Liverpool have announced on Tuesday the cost of attending a match at Anfield is going to increase. It's going to go up by 3% next season, following further increases in line with inflation over the next 2 campaigns. They've decided to do this despite consulting with the Liverpool FC Supporters Board, a decision which was firmly opposed by fan leaders. Liverpool have revealed that adult general admission tickets, which currently cost £39 to £61, are going to rise between about £1.25 and £1.75. Adult season tickets, priced at £713 to £904, will increase by £21 or £27. They say the cost of junior tickets and local general tickets available to those with a Liverpool postcode would remain frozen. Fenway Sports, though, the owners of Liverpool, have been in charge since 2010, haven't increased prices on the Kop since they took over in 2010. So I suppose the big question is why have they decided now to put up the prices, and why do they believe that they need to go up over the next 3 years in line with inflation?
Maybe because they smashed the British transfer record not once but twice last summer. Someone's got to foot the bill for that. Maybe because there's a realistic possibility.
Tell me something, boy. Aren't you tired trying to fill that void? Or do you need more?
Let's sort in a little date and we'll go for karaoke and we'll duet this together.
So hardcore.
Yeah.
I'm falling.
Yes, Gaga. Belt it out.
In all the good times I find myself
Got some voice.
longing.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
She's a very, very, very talented person. I will give her that. Happy birthday, Lady Gaga. I feel like I'm going to cut off the best bit of the song. Go on then.
I'm of the deep end, watch as I dive in. I'll never meet the ground.
Oh, what song. Your morning tickets, the weekend breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Celtic striker Tony Cascarino. It's her birthday, by the way. That's why we're playing a bit of Gaga this morning. Coming up for you here on talkSPORT today. After us, you've got Max Ruston and Charlie Baker on the warm-up from 9 o'clock, and then a very special show from 11 o'clock today. Johnny Owen is here, who is absolutely exceptional, joined by former Burnley, Everton and Forest manager Sean Dyche on the show. Now, he's all over the back pages. Sam is going to be with us in a moment. Reportedly, Spurs weighing up whether to go and get Sean Dyche for a relegation battle. In other news, 1 o'clock, it's the Saturday session with Natalie Sawyer. Kick-off tonight, here with all your calls on the day's football and the sporting action from the week. And following that, it's Fight Night Live from Manchester as Moses Atoma takes on Jermaine Franklin from 8 o'clock. All coming up for you here on talkSPORT. Right, let's get to today's back pages now with Sam Stevens.
Oh, Sam, you know where I am.
Well,
Come around.
did she come back?
She's found me. She's found me. She has returned.
What was it like? Was it one of them slow motion movies where you come running up when she landed at the airport?
It was a bit. You know what she did, actually? She turned up at the airport, at the terminal. She ran out to me and she started playing this on loudspeaker.
No,
Everybody of course she did.
Oh, my God.
At the terminal. I said to her, can you just turn it down a little bit? It's a little bit embarrassing. She's like, it's not embarrassing. It's cute. So
there they are, reuniting at the airport together. Sophia's been down under.
Did you notice in the week, Shebahn, that we didn't really hear from Sam all week?
Yeah, no, not one word.
Until yesterday.
I say, I can tell your bird's back. Did you forgot about us?
I've been very busy. She's got a big social calendar now.
I'm
She's
sure
back.
you have.
Yeah, I've been all over the shop. I've been everywhere, man, as they say.
So wait a minute, you've not been allowed to sit and chill and do your usual Sam.
Yeah, exactly.
Sam stuff.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Brilliant. I love
She said
it.
to me, have you just been living the single man life since I've been away? That's what she said to me.
Yeah, single man life at home every night.
yeah, sitting chilling.
That kind of single man life, not
Very
the standard single man life.
Anyway, it's lovely to have her back.
I'm
And
sure.
it was a very nice reunion. She looks very tanned. We had nice flowers and everything. I managed to get it all sorted, Cass. I did it
Yeah.
properly, the proper reunion. It was very nice.
I'm glad you didn't mess up, Sam. That's good.
I know.
That's quite a brave thing to do, isn't it? Because how long ago did you get married, Sam? It's not like,
It was December 2024.
so it's only a couple of years, and
Yeah.
she's gone, Australia for best part of what, 6 months?
Yeah, 7 months it was.
7
Yeah,
months,
yeah. Long
Mm.
time. And
Brave thing to do.
yeah,
That's a challenge for most couples.
yeah, very much so.
You're
yeah,
right, good point.
challenge all round. She's absolutely smashed it out there. So well done, Sophia. Brilliant.
Yeah,
stuff.
lovely.
Now then, there's lots of stuff in the back pages this morning. How close is your... Oh, actually, I should talk about, first of all, lots of stories, of course, about this awful story around Tiger Woods, front page of the papers
Yes.
this morning. We will talk to Rupert Bell about this, I said, talkSPORT's golf correspondent. But Tiger, mostly, a lot of his stories, sadly, on the front pages, sort of one of those stories that transcends, isn't it, from the back
Yeah.
pages to the front pages. But we'll get into that with Rupert a little bit later on and what's happened with Tiger and the car accident. But I wanted to bring your attention to this story in the Mail, actually, that you alerted me to, Cass. The EFL is broken, with clubs set to postpone combined losses of £600 million. So how close is your club to oblivion? This is Mike Keegan, the chief sports reporter in the Mail. He says the EFL is broken, with clubs in the Championship on track to lose an average of £15 million per season, and those across the league set to post annual losses of more than £600 million, which is the paper's investigation. Shock figures highlight the desperate state of play outside the promised land of the Premier League, with the staggering sums being lost each year laid bare. So far, 14 Championship clubs have filed their figures for 24-25 and paint a stark picture of that group. 13 posted soaring average losses of £14 million, including league leaders Coventry, £21 million loss from a profit of £8 million, Norwich £20.7 million, and QPR £20.1 million. Preston, who've never played in the Premier League, lost £13.4 million, while Oxford lost £17.5 million.
Do you know,
this is a bad look, isn't it, Cass? It's
well,
worrying.
especially that it's been well noted over the years that Preston have been one of the most well-run clubs in the country, and they have big losses. I was shocked at West Brom. West Brom over 37 million.
37 million, yeah.
Big shock to me. And you look at them, languishing at the bottom end of the Championship. Look, clubs generally have debt. And what I have learned, and I remember having a conversation with Doug Ellis about this, where, clubs don't make profit. Why would they make profit when they can use that profit to go and buy players? That's what most clubs do. But
Sure.
this is beyond buying players.
Yeah.
This is actually getting into quite severe debt to buy or gamble to try and get higher up the pyramid in football. I know the Championship clubs are the most guilty, aren't they? Because some of them invest enormous amounts of money just to get to the Premier League because the price pool is so big.
That's it. And you look at the difference between the money that you get for being in the Premier League compared to the Championship.
Yeah.
It pales into insignificance, doesn't it, really? Some of these clubs have got just monumental losses that would be very concerning. But I guess that's the problem, isn't it? And that's why the independent regulator situation, are clubs now going to start bridging that gap? Are they going to get a slightly fairer slice of the pie when it comes to it? Because at the moment they are taking a lot of risks in order to try and get the Premier League promised land.
Too many clubs are rolling the dice, and they're rolling it hard. And I get you want ambition and try and get promoted. And look, money does achieve a hell of a lot, the type of players you can bring in. But when it goes wrong, I'm looking at clubs like you said, West Brom, £37 million in debt. Terrific football club, West Brom.
Yeah, worrying times, Shebahn.
And many others.
Definitely. Yeah.
Now, let's talk about Mo Salah, because he's all over the back pages this morning. We haven't spoken, Cass, have we,
No.
since he announced that he was leaving Liverpool? We should touch on this for sure. Jurgen Klopp paying tribute to his former player this morning in the papers. He's returning for a memorial game, a LFC Foundation event at Anfield. He says there will be a void that somebody will fill, but the specific player, Mo Salah, I'm not sure there is even another one existing out there. There are other people playing on that wing with different strengths, different qualities, but the numbers he produces are unmatched. I don't know if there was ever any player who had that. You tell him he's a winger or a striker, he says, no, I'm a winger. The numbers for a winger are ridiculous. a loss for Liverpool. Did we expect that this would come this time eventually? For most
I expected more of it to be mentioned or happen in the summer. He's had such a poor season, and every Liverpool fan knows how brilliant Mo Salah has been. I think it might have happened if Klopp wasn't gonna or didn't leave when he did a couple of years ago. He would have certainly, I think, changed Mo Salah at that time when the fallout happened between them, because Mo was off of a different time, come back from Morocco from the AFCON, and there was obviously, you could say there was that relationship had been severed a bit, but hopefully that's just happens in football, that you can sort of. He embraced what he said is very complimentary, but what else could he say about Mo?
Yeah, it's a shame in some ways, isn't it, Shebahn? Because although he's not had a great season, it's lost to the glamour of the Premier League, isn't it? Losing a name like Salah.
Yeah, no, it is a shame. You wonder where he's going to go next. I mean, he's been unbelievable, and I mentioned this actually last weekend. It's a shame to see, or was it yesterday? It's a shame to see when players are leaving, when it feels negative around them. Yeah. The performances are negative around them.
It's time. At big clubs, you have to go sometimes.
Yeah.
You lose that big star, Steven Gerrard, or you lose a Keane or someone else. Sometimes you lose them.
Yeah.
Even at big clubs, and it's time to move on. That has happened for Mo Salah.
And just very quickly, do you think that he can play till 40? Klopp's right about that?
Oh, physically, yes, but obviously not in the Premier League. I think it's really hard in the Premier League although Dzeko scored in midweek, didn't he?
He was 40.
And there's a few of them around that get into this. Would Harry Kane get to 40? He wouldn't be far off. He's never relied on his pace. Mo does need that extra half a yard. When Mo was at his top, he had that half a yard difference, which I think he's lost certainly this season.
All over the papers this morning, Mo Salah.
Sam Stevens, thank you very much. Coming up next, the Gallagher Prem Rugby is going football mad this weekend. We'll explain how next. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter. Search VW Transporter to find out more.
With Mo Salah leaving, a lot of commentators have talked about the fact there's a lack of icons in the Premier League. Obviously, last year we had De Bruyne leave. You've had, over the course of the last few years, you've had Ronaldo back fleetingly. You've had Ibrahimovic here fleetingly. But the big boys don't come to the Premier League, do they? I mean, Haaland is probably the only global icon that is still there. Would that be fair? I mean, Son's not there anymore. De Bruyne's not there anymore. Salah's going. Kane, Ronaldo, Zlatan, all gone. Mbappe, Vinicius, Bellingham, Messi, Neymar. They would rather play elsewhere. Why?
That's a very good question. I don't think there's as many superstars today as the kind of has been in the past. Obviously, Messi, Ronaldo were the two superstars, and no one could get anywhere near them. And that doesn't mean to say that others like Neymar and Luis Suarez weren't. What I would say is, I think Real Madrid's, whatever you say about Manchester United, even when they're at their pomp, that I think are the biggest club in the world, the most attractive club in the world. You could argue maybe even Madrid in terms of just living there as well, I think is incredible. Barcelona too. You think about that Barcelona team of Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, Puyol, just absolutely sensational. And you look at Real Madrid now, Vinny Jr., Mbappe, Bellingham. Who else have I missed? I think the general ones, they've always had the very, very top ones, have probably gone to La Liga and Real Madrid.
Life after football. For a lot of players, it means going into punditry. Some turn to coaching or working in the game in other ways. But what about the rest? Some former footballers turn their sights away from the game, and there are a few big surprises. First up, from rainbow flicks to pancake flips. Ex-Chelsea and Southampton defender Ken Monku switched up his footballing career to buy a Dutch pancake house. He bought out the shop, which had been his favourite pancake spot as a child, and before long he was mixing the batter and getting behind the stove. Next, Everton legend Thomas Gravesen swapped out the high stakes of the Premier League for those of the poker room. He made over 150 appearances for the Toffees and won the Scottish Premier League with Celtic. Turned out the Danish international was pretty darn good at poker. He racked up a reported £100 million from his Las Vegas adventures. Remember former Chelsea goalkeeper Petr Cech? Turns out football nets weren't the only goals he was pretty handy in front of. After retirement, he became a goaltender in ice hockey. Same skills, very different surface. And he even won a Division 2 title with Guildford Phoenix. For ex-Liverpool centre-back Daniel Agger, it wasn't just fancy footwork that was in his blood. He was also pretty good with his hands. The Denmark international turned to tattoo artistry after he hung up his boots. He'd qualified as a skin artist while at Anfield, and he then became the co-owner of his own tattoo company as well. It's not all glamour for ex-pros, though. 1966 World Cup winner Ray Wilson set up a very different kind of business. He became an undertaker after he retired. Finally, not many people can say they've won both a World Cup and starred in an Oscar-winning film. In fact, there's only one person in the entire world who can say that. Frank Leboeuf, the former Chelsea defender, was part of the 1998 France squad who won the World Cup. He ended up marking Brazil's Ronaldo in the final and helped his side to a 3-0 win. But Leboeuf had already begun acting on the side while he was playing football, and his biggest role came some years after his retirement when he landed the part of a doctor in the Stephen Hawking biopic The Theory of Everything.
I embrace the career of acting, so I want to learn more. So seeing lots of movies is a part of my job.
To be honest, with all the dramatic diving in the game these days, there's probably tons of ex-pros who've got the acting skills to make it in Hollywood.
Good morning, it's the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn Aherne alongside former Millwall striker Tony Cascarino.
Good morning.
So Ben White went from hero to villain as England were held to a frustrating draw against Uruguay last night. Despite giving the Three Lions the lead, there was a mixed reaction to the man that put them ahead.
For the last 4 years, as I never play for England again. Now he's scored potentially a winner for his country. Ben White from 10 inches out, and England lead Uruguay 1-0.
Yeah, England manager Thomas Tuchel not too pleased by the crowd's behaviour towards the Arsenal defender.
I will always protect my players. He did so well in training, and he scored for us, so it could have been a perfect comeback. But it was mixed reactions. It was not only boos, some cheered. So let's hope we put this behind us.
Did Ben White deserve that? In my opinion, he did not. But here we are. Alan Brazil's favourite child, Moses Atoma, will take on Jermaine Franklin as the headline act of this weekend's Magnificent Seven in Manchester. Iconic British heavyweight Dillian White says Frank Warren in his corner can only be good for his development.
He's very good, he's young, he's active, obviously he's explosive and stuff, but we have to wait and see. Every boxing's funny, you know what I mean? Frank's very good at managing the timing, so yeah, let's see.
Atoma against Franklin live on talkSPORT tonight from 8 o'clock. A lot coming up for you this weekend. We'll keep you across it all on the Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. Now, we've got a huge day in the Gallagher Prem. 3 matches taking place today over on talkSPORT 2, hosted in the rare environment of football stadiums this weekend. So Gloucester, Leicester, 1 o'clock at Villa Park. Bristol Harlequins is at 3:30 at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. And then Saracens, Northampton Saints, 6:30 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Ahead of the first game, Race to the Slater Cup will take place. This is all working for charity for motor neuron disease. So the cycle race sees teams from Gloucester and Leicester Tigers go head to head as they race to Villa Park. One team starting at Kingsholm, the home of Gloucester, captained by Mike Tyndall, taking place on that one. And then Leicester, who will be starting at Welford Road, captained by Martin Johnson. So lots of people getting involved in this. 45 miles from their respective home stadiums, Kingsholm and Welford Road, to Villa Park, aiming to arrive at first. Both teams supporting Lewis Moody and the 4ED, the charity set up by Ed Slater after his diagnosis to support families affected by motor neurons disease. One of the former players taking part is also talkSPORT 2 co-commentator for Gloucester versus Leicester, representing the Gloucester team, former England international Rocky Clark. And Rocky is with us now. Good morning to you, Rocky. Good on you.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, it's certainly a different way to arrive at the stadium just before I do my commentary, but it's a beautiful day here at Gloucester, and the nerves are certainly ringing through.
So, well, first of all, tell us about the race and the cause.
Yeah, so we're raising funds for MMD. Of course, you know that Lewis Moody and Ed Slater have got it, and so we're really trying to help raise as much awareness and funds for MMD. And crazily, we're cycling against each other. So a team from Gloucester to Villa Park and a team from Leicester to Villa Park. Obviously, we've got Tins, Vickery, Trev Woodman, and they've got Martin Johnson, who's absolute lethal on a bike. And then they've got a couple of us old girls from the Golden Girls who are going to look like potatoes on a bike, but try and get there before kick-off, if I'm honest.
I doubt it, Rocky. I very much so doubt it. It's brilliant that the stadiums are the equal distance apart, isn't it?
Well, it's actually, do you know what? I wish it was only 45 miles. It's actually 60 miles.
No.
Yeah, so when they keep saying that, you know, we're starting a bit later, it means that I'm going to have to go as fast as I normally go downhill on flats and uphill. So I don't know how I'm going to do it, but we're going to find a way. If not, I'm going to try and grab onto the back of somebody's bike as they're going uphill.
We're about to preview as well, Gloucester versus Leicester. I mean, Leicester slight favourites?
Well, they should be on sort of league position. Obviously, they had a fantastic outing against Bristol last week and getting that bonus point win on the final play, just showing how much confidence they've got. But, you know, there's a lot riding on this. It's Slater Cup. It's a massive event and a really exciting stadium. I think it's going to be huge, and I certainly hope it's a big spectacle.
Yeah, I mean, we're covering it all over on talkSPORT 2. Do you expect any shocks today?
It could well be. Never say never. So, you know, make sure you tune in and listen out, because there's going to be some thrillers, I imagine. You know, when you go to a different stadium, nobody's got the home advantage. It's something very big and very special. So let's see how we get on.
Rocky, can you explain to us why it's taking place at football stadiums today?
Just to have as many people in the stadiums, get more people from different walks of life, and just exposing the game and having that opportunity to play at such iconic stadiums.
Yeah. Okay, It's the big match bonanza weekend. Rocky, we've got to let you go to get underway for your bike ride. I can't believe they've added on a cheeky 15 miles and not really giving you the
honestly,
credit for it.
I'm raging. I'm absolutely raging, but I can't do anything about it. So I'm just going to have to jump on the back of somebody and try and get to the end.
Well, it might be downhill, that extra 15 miles.
You never know. You never know.
Oh, yeah. Not sure.
Get the padded shorts on, the padded
They're
everything.
on. The nappy's on. We're good to go.
Good on. You get a pillow there as well. Rocky Clark, we'll hear you later on over on talkSPORT.
Cheers, my dear. Catch you later.
Right.
Take care of yourself. Rocky Clark there, former England international. Brilliant that they're all doing this, of course, for motor neurons disease. It's the worst. It's just the absolute worst.
Well, yeah, my it's my first wife's grandfather. He had motor neurone, and I remember, and he lived in Bermondsey, and watching the decline in such a short space of time. I mean, obviously, other people, the time frame is different, but that was alarming. It's such a scary disease as well, because physically you literally change so vividly. You're just in front of you. You can see someone suffering so badly.
And the rugby community, in terms of, Rob Burrow.
Yes.
And the work that Kevin Sinfield's done and the money that they've raised.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, to find out why this disease it's so cruel. I know how it happens to anyone is so cruel, but motor neuron disease, I can't,
Well, all diseases are terrible and horrible and
Yeah.
different for many different reasons.
Yeah.
But people that go out and, do these bike rides, do these runs, or just, to help generate interest, to give money, to hopefully advance our chances of getting a cure for this horrible disease.
Yeah, look out for all the teams today fundraising for Lewis Moody and 4ED, setting up the charity, obviously, by Ed Slater, and supporting those families who are living and affected by MND. So it's all for a good cause this weekend. Don't forget, you've got 3 Gallagher Prem matches live on talkSPORT 2 today. All the coverage getting underway at 12:45. Gloucester, Leicester. Rocky Clark will be there at Villa Park. Bristol Harlequins at 3:30. And then that's going to be in Cardiff at the Principality, and then Saracens Northampton Saints is at 6:30 at Spurs. Find out if Rocky makes it in time over on talkSPORT 2 at 12:45. And it's time now for this.
The talkSPORT 20k giveaway.
We are good to you. We can't deny that. We give you lots of good competitions to get involved with. This one I would say is the best in quite some time because it's 20 grand.
Yes.
Completely
Bad,
tax
is it?
free. Do what you want with it. Do as you please. £20,000 could be yours, all thanks to us. Like we say, it's tax free. Here's how you can get involved. Have a punt. Take a chance on this. It could be you. Text the word WIN to 83338. Texts are £2.50 plus your one standard network rate. Or call this number 0343 418 7260. That's 0343 418 7260. The line's closed for this one on the 9th of April, 4 in the afternoon. If we call you, you must answer your phone. 18 plus, UK residents only. It's a network promotion as ever, with all of the terms and conditions on our website at talksport.com. 20 grand, tax free. Do you fancy some of that? Obviously you do. Text the word WIN to 83338 now. And good luck to you as well. Coming up later, by the way, we're going to be speaking to a man who completed 30 marathons in 30 days back in August 2024.
That's mad.
I did 15 miles on Tuesday, so
I know.
have some of that. Spencer Matthews.
And how was you afterwards?
Fine. I was actually fine. I felt really good on Tuesday. I felt like mentally, I can do this. I can do this. It's the first I've felt that way.
Is that the furthest you've done?
Yeah, 15 miles has been my longest. I've got 17 on Tuesday.
Right.
Tuesday coming. So yeah, that should be good banter. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter, working with you. I'll get all the tips from a man who's done 30 in 30 days later on here on the Weekend Breakfast. But coming up next, put the kettle on, get yourself a posh capper. Cappuccino with Cascarino is up next on talkSPORT. Join us now to look ahead to all British heavyweight boxer Dillian White. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Dillian.
Good morning, good morning. How's everything been? Good?
Yeah, good, mum.
Yeah, really, really good. You gutted for the Welsh last night for no reason whatsoever? Or is it just Gabby who's hammering them?
I have no comment.
Dillian, what are you thinking about this fight then? You fought both fighters, Atoma and Franklin. What are you expecting from Franklin in this fight?
I think it's a good fight. It depends on what Franklin turns up because, you know, he can turn up and put on a good show and be a really good fighter. Sometimes he can turn up and be a little bit of a stinker, you know. Obviously, he's coming off a loss in his last fight. But I think that's made him hungrier for this fight. And now, obviously, we look at Moses thinking, if I beat Moses, I get one up on Dillian because Dillian beat me and Moses beat Dillian. So I think he's got double motivation. So, yeah.
How good is he, Atoma? You know, only 21 years of age, and we've seen his rise so far. How good is he, and how good can he be?
He's very good. Obviously, they're managing properly and maneuvering properly. And obviously, he's, timing is everything in every division. We have to wait and see. He's very good. He's young. He's active. Obviously, he's explosive and stuff. But we have to wait and see.
A cappuccino with Cascarino.
The mashup we never knew we needed. Cascarino and Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Good morning, it's the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. We're live on the Smart TV, by the way. If you're at home, stick the telly on. Or stick on the YouTube channel as well to listen to talkSPORT. Happy birthday to Bad Romance Lady Gaga. She's 40 today. It's just felt like yesterday when she burst onto the
Yeah, it does, yeah.
It really does. Jamie's just texted me saying we're going swimming with the kids later, and I've just done my hair. How long it takes to tong it, keep it all dried. And
So what you mean, would you have to wash it again then?
chlorine head? These will go yellow.
Well, he said he's going swimming with the kids. Was you mentioned?
I might mention. I'll sit in the canteen, have a cuppa. You enjoy that. Not worse than getting your...
Do you like swimming?
I do. I used to go swimming with the kids all the time. I love swimming. I'm a fish. I'm a good swimmer. It's the one thing I'm good at. You probably think I swim like a brick.
Many moons ago, I actually upset a few people because I said I don't have any time or don't even enjoy swimming. I don't know what it's about. It feels weird to me.
It's a life skill, Cass.
Yeah, of course, it's very important for that.
Can you swim?
After that, of course I can swim, yeah.
Prove it.
Sink or swim.
See, earlier on you were talking about people with bad feet.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got like a little webbed foot.
Who, you?
Just a little one. Just a little cheeky. My brother's toes are proper stuck together.
Oh, are they?
They're vile.
They're helpful, though, when you're swimming, aren't they?
Well, that's what they say. Webbed feet are good swimmers. Also says that we're... Can't say it. So, okay.
No, I don't know where you're going, so you need...
So I'll move on then. Cool. Bit of breaking news for you now. Gear change, literally. Mercedes driver Kimi Antonelli is in pole position for tomorrow's morning's Japanese Grand Prix. John Jackson will be with us from 6 o'clock across the Grand Prix tomorrow. And don't forget, the clocks go forward.
Oh, I know. 1 hour less.
That's nice, isn't it? When you're up at 3 in the morning, you get an hour less.
Yeah, we get an hour less.
Thanks. That'll be good. Have you ever had a roasting session?
Not really. Not really. I did hear a little bit yesterday of, was it you and Gab?
If you want a roasting session, you should just go through the text.
Oh, right. Of course. Yeah, you get hammered on it. I never really get too affected by all that. I know I'm sitting here saying it, but I don't. People have an opinion, and if you don't like it, it's tough.
Well, this came from Last One Laughing, this show. It's really good fun. But Ramesh Ranganathan, he got up and gave everybody comments that he's seen about himself on social media to read to him, and nobody can laugh. And some of them, they're out of order, but they're funny. They're funny, so they're not allowed to laugh. So myself and Gabby Agbon Lahore tried that with each other on talkSPORT Breakfast yesterday.
You belong back on Early Breakfast and Not Breakfast, the most overrated presenter we've ever had on the station. Well done, Shebahn. You took that well.
Gabby! We're rubbish, they were smiling though.
Go on, all right.
Remember you wrote your letter to the PGMOL last season?
Aye.
Firstly, it wasn't delivered because you spelled PGMOL wrong.
Damn. I didn't put a stamp on it either, Shebahn.
Only you could spell PGMOL wrong. Oh, that is brilliant. As you can see, we failed because we laughed the whole way through it. That was funny.
Gabby's laugh is infectious, isn't it?
I know, he's got a great laugh. He really does. Don't forget talkSPORT Breakfast back from 6 o'clock on Monday morning. Alan Brazil back Wednesday next week as well. Right, it's time now for this.
A cappuccino with Cascarino on talkSPORT. Yummy.
Right, posh coffee time. I'm sticking my feet up. Take it away, Cass.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about international football and more so, Shebahn. Obviously, the World Cup's looming. It's right on top of us. And something struck me this week. And I don't know if it's coincidence. I need a bit more detail to have a look at. But is it a coincidence that Italy had more fouls than Northern Ireland? So they committed 11 fouls, Italy, against Northern Ireland's 8. Now, you would think Northern Ireland, if they go there, they're going to commit a lot of fouls to try and stop the Italians in their own backyard. Wales committed 8 fouls. Bosnia, 20.
Wow.
20. Now, that's an enormous difference. So they're disrupting Wales's play. They're making it difficult. Stops, the momentum of the game, the flow. And obviously, Bosnia went through on penalties. So it's a really close call. Czech Republic, 25 fouls. Ireland, 14. Again, another example of fouling often in right areas of the pitch. And the Czech Republic did it way better than us. Okay? Then I looked at last night. It's a friendly. England, 7 fouls. Uruguay, 12. So in every one... No, it's a draw. It's ended up a draw. But this to me is typical of where international football can be sometimes, where you go to tournaments, you've got to have a team that's savvy. That savvy is being game management in international football. If you have an opposition that might not be as good as you, but what I would consider my Ireland team that I paid 88 caps with, and all the guys we were a savvy side. Yes, we had a lot of good players from all different clubs, big clubs as well in the top flight, Division 1 and then the Premier League. But we were savvy as a side. And if you go to a tournament and you're not, you'll get knocked out.
Forgive me for asking if this is not the right way that I'm being led, but do they almost need to be less honest, or? Well,
there is a point of say dishonest, yeah, but manipulating the game to go your way or get certain decisions, yeah. I think largely the South Americans always been the best at that.
Yeah.
But there's other nations now seen in Europe. I just looked at the numbers and all the fouls committed were mainly by the opposition, and we lost a game that we were 2-0 up in, very comfortable up until half time, and then the game changed, and it changed for a number of reasons, but definitely that the Czech Republic were going to make way more fouls, stop us at every opportunity, and it cost us dearly. And I think it's really important because you get to the very latter stages of a tournament, you can see teams that are there, not because they're that good. I would look at the great Brazilian team of 82. They were the best World Cup team I've ever seen. Maybe you have to go back to Brazil's 1970 side, but they were certainly one of the best ever. They got knocked out. They weren't very streetwise. They weren't savvy. You have to have that going to a tournament. So England now are the only one really... Scotland are going and England are going, OK? Northern Ireland have gone, Wales have gone, and we've gone, Republic of Ireland. The two teams left, Scotland and England, they've got, especially England, have got a great depth of players. But if that team is not savvy and can be beaten in a way that you all look back and go, oh, how did we get beat there? And the other team is because they were more streetwise.
Yeah.
And you've got to have that in international football because you'll pay the ultimate price. You'll get knocked out comfortably.
It's a very good point.
And last night, watching Uruguay, they disrupted England so often by just being in positions. And look, it was a late penalty and it should never have been given, in my opinion. But that's what these sort of teams can do.
When you look at then what's coming up for Scotland today, Scotland-Japan, 5 o'clock here on talkSPORT, then Tuesday, England-Japan. Do you want to see more of that? Want to see more streetwise, street smart, savvy performances as these teams prepare for World Cups?
I think you have to have a bit of that on display, and I think that will affect his squad when he selects certain types. Having a disruptor in a team? I mean, without saying the obvious, Nobby Stoles was a disruptor. When England won in '66, and I know a lot of people think that's irrelevant, but then Brazil had it with Dunga. When they won in '94, they had a disruptor. You know, you've had other players in... The French team had it in '98, had a disruptor. You know, having that type of player might be more necessary than having an unbelievably skillful, brilliant individual that can win you a game. Yes, they're important, but someone who can win the ball back is really important.
I like that. Lovely stuff. Oh, that was a nice coffee today, wasn't it? Cappuccino with Cascarino. Don't forget the updates from Scotland, Japan live on talkSPORT today from 5 o'clock. Coming up for you next, we'll cast a professional eye over the World Cup kits. England's was on display for the first time last night. Do you like it? I've been seeing some of the things going around online, trending on social media that fans aren't completely best pleased with it. You can let us know your thoughts on that. 81089. Scotland one looks delicious, by the way. Looks really good. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter. Search VW Transporter to find out more.
Former Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has broken his silence on Mo Salah's impending departure from the Reds. Here he is talking to the Anfield Wrap about the legacy that Salah will leave behind.
Unbelievable goal. So he was part of the best front three in world football for a long time and was the one who always had the highest numbers. So that says something. That really says something. It's not easy to be slightly above the other two guys, and they have all their specific skills. But Mo was the one for the last situation. He wanted to have that more than anybody. So Sadio was a mix of both. Like, yes, he wanted to score goals, but he could have played midfield even. So that's his skill set. Bobby was the genius who didn't care about anything and could play absolutely everything. And Mo was the one who was really always the goal in his mind. And you cannot train that, and I don't think you really can learn it. It's inside, and he has that, and he will have that until the last day of his life. I'm pretty sure that's why it was the challenge, because if you want to rotate or whatever, and you take him off after 87 minutes, you could see in his face he saw I could have scored 3 in the last 5.
Yeah, that's Jurgen Klopp speaking about Mo Salah, and touch on basically what we were kind of talking about with strikers these days, where you said some of them don't have that. They don't have that drive to, I want one.
to you. Saturday's weekend sports breakfast here on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn Aherne. Former Millwall striker Tony Cascarino is here. Some of you know the headlines this morning. Thomas Tuchel said the officials had a bad day at the office after more VAR controversy, which Manuel Ugarte was not sent off for picking up 2 yellow cards. Like how?
I don't know. That's just a mistake. There's no other way of answering it. Mistake.
It's a pure howler, though.
Oh, absolutely. Lucky it's in a friendly.
Weird. Argentina great Lionel Messi will have a stand named after him by his current club Inter Miami at their new stadium. And it's been a bit, what? You look surprised? Does he not deserve a stand?
No, I burped.
Oh. Lovely.
I kept it in.
That's so cute. And it's been a big week over on talksport.com. Here's our Sean O'Brien with everything you need to know.
Lots happening over on talksport.com, but let's start in the Championship. You'll have heard that Roy Hodgson is back, but did you know that in 50 years of management, he has never faced Charlton? The new Bristol City boss makes his first trip to the Valley on Friday. Elsewhere, find out which former Tottenham player has thrown his name into the ring to save the club from relegation, and find out why Adrien Durham thinks Max Dowman should leave Arsenal as soon as possible. That's all over on talksport.com.
Thank you, Sean. Yeah, stick on to the website to stay across absolutely everything, and we're going to do this. On the world stage, are you into the outfits? England, Scotland, Brazil have all just dropped their latest designs, and they've certainly caught the eyes of the fans and fashionistas alike. To have a look at the kits in more detail, we can speak to fashion stylist for Fabulous magazine, Emily Regan. Good morning, Emily. How are you?
Emily.
Morning, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thanks, Emily. Do you like rating kits? Is this up your street? Do you like this for fashion?
Yeah, I think football and fashion is really important, and I think that there's so much correlation between the two now, and the kits are just getting better and bigger. So yeah, it's something that I'm really interested in.
So tell us, Emily, because obviously you can get nostalgic with football kits, go back to the past. Is it a bit of everything now? You just look to the future. Well, the past can have its mark as well, and obviously some of the kits now are so bright and leery that they're so identifiable, aren't they? Identified.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting, like, especially for this World Cup, there's a real Nike and Adidas. It's really heavy on them brands. It's the first time in history that all of the previous winning teams are being dressed by one of those brands. And I do think that they are sort of leaning more towards that retro style, but trying to also make it for a new audience as well. So it's hard to find that balance sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, last night, actually, just on social media just now, on X, I can see a lot of dislike towards the England kit that they wore last night. Some people actually happy enough with the red, but the fit's getting a lot of criticism, the neckline, things like that. It's kind of hard to please everyone though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, not everyone's always going to be happy, but I actually really like the red away kit. I am a big fan of it. I think that it's nice to see them return to red after the dark blue in 2024. Also, especially considering that England was triumphant in 1966. It played on red.
Well, somebody actually put online horrible kits win trophies, so you never know. Maybe it's a sign for England. If you don't like it, listen, I don't think it's the worst kit at all. I actually think it's quite nice. If you're watching on the YouTube channel or on the smart TV, we're showing them to you just now. How do they go about designing these kits and going, yeah, that's the one that we want? How do they make a final decision on it?
I think it's quite hard because obviously, as you say, everyone's going to have a different take on what they like and what they don't. I think especially for this season, they've tried to go back to like nostalgia roots, a lot of sort of little details that show some past things from the retro kits as well. So I think kind of bringing in that sense of nostalgia from the 90s, a lot of people can relate to that as a big time for football. And that is what a lot of them have tried to do. But also, especially Adidas, they have kind of designed their kits more to be lifestyle pieces. So not just to be worn when you're supporting your team, but also to wear day to day, which I think is really cool.
Well, let's get to the crux of it because obviously pricing for Adidas and Nike, how expensive are they? Because we've seen an incredible rise on football kits.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it is gone slightly too far. I think the England kit is around 134.99, but that's obviously before if you want personalisation, I think that's extra. And then the Scotland kit is about 84.99. It does differ from brand to brand, but I do think they have become extortionate, and it is quite a shame.
Yeah, especially in a World Cup year where you want to see as many people wearing these kits and wearing their shirts as possible, especially if they can't get out to the tournament. You want to support your team here and wear your shirt. That's a lot of money.
Can I ask a question here, Emily? And it might be an unfair one, but do you know how much it actually would cost from the very start? Is it like £20, but it ends up getting sold at 134? I mean, what is the charge for doing a kit? Do you have any idea?
I don't know exactly, but I think it's really tricky because obviously they would have been designing, the design process I imagine would have gone on for longer than a year now for these World Cup kits. I think obviously they will put a markup on it. The brands have to make money, which is totally understandable. And obviously the cost of living's gone up, the cost of clothes have gone up in general. So I understand them going up slightly, but I do think they're extortionate now.
Yeah. I like the retro kits as well when you see them. I don't know if you saw the Juventus top that came out a few weeks ago. Did any of you see that? Oh my god, it's lovely.
Yeah, it's nice.
Like that old school black and white stripe. Yeah, the kind of t-shirt kind of vibe as well. Listen, talk to us about the Scotland kits. I think we've won this. We've won this bet and one of the nicest kits going to the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really nice. I think the home kit is more traditional. Overall, it feels like Nike have been a bit more playful with the details, but I like that Nike in general across all the teams have kept the home kit very traditional colours, etc. But for the away kit is where it really comes to life. Obviously, you've got the pinstripes, the nod to the early 1980s away design. They just all have a really strong retro influence. But also with that away kit, it's really cool. I feel like you could wear it beyond just supporting your team.
Yes.
Come on, the kit, the Brazilian kit, the bright yellow and it is easily, the most recognisable. But a Michael Jordan logo as well. So tell us about the Brazil kit.
Yeah, it's been a bit controversial. Again, their home kit is green and yellow, really true to their identity. And then I feel like the away kit is where they've gone big or go home. But it's had mixed opinions. Mostly it has been hyped because Nike have chosen to use the Michael Jordan logo for the first time ever. He obviously represents a golden era of sport, and it leads back to, again, the 90s nostalgia feel of all the other designs. Some people are debating that it is a bit lazy and that they've just used that logo to make it more commercial, which I think they might have done, but I do think it is a cool touch as well.
It's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. I have to say, like you say, it's going to cost you an absolute fortune, isn't it? I have to say, I love the salmon colour for Scotland, the Adidas kit. I think it looks great. Emily, just quickly.
Yeah.
Football and fashion hand in hand now. I mean, you see these French players going into their World Cup camps. I mean, they've got Birkin bags, Bottega bags. I mean, it's not often that you see footballers with handbags, but they're doing their thing.
They're breaching out, which is the easiest thing to be said. I mean, football and fashion has come a long way. I do think there's a lot of good things that are happening within them two correlations. The footballers are teaming up with every brand imaginable. You've got Saka for New Balance. You've got Jack Grealish was the face of Gucci a few years ago. Cole Palmer and Eze for Burberry. Jude Bellingham for Adidas Superstars, and even Skims. So they're branching out. But I do actually think it's nice that we're seeing this correlation, and that the sports stars are being recognised behind some of these fashion brands.
Yeah, okay. Tony Cascarino, what handbag would you give him if you were to choose one for him to go international break?
We'd have to go for something like
Get my Chanel, Burberry.
Yeah, a high price point.
Game's gone, Emily. Yes. I'll say it before someone messages it. That's fashion stylist for Fabulous Magazine, Emily Regan. Thank you so much. Enjoy.
Thank you for having me.
Take care of yourself, Emily. There, looking at all these kits. By the way, the Ireland one's nice, isn't it? That mint green with the...
Yeah, it's a lovely kit.
Really nice.
Not much use in a minute, but...
What do you think about football and fashion?
I think it's always been there, Shebahn. It's just got bigger like most things.
Who was the most fashionable in your dressing?
I tell you who was always,
Sharing
fashionable, but always had it. No, I tell you, Dennis Wise always had the latest touch. He always had something, nice. But the Louis Vuitton boys sort of came in the mid-90s when they're all earning this money, and Louis Vuitton sort of came in, especially when I was in France. That became really, really big for a while. But yeah, I mean, in the 80s, look, players earned good money in the 80s. Versace was about then. So a lot of Versace shirts. I remember going to Glasgow, and they had a shop in Glasgow City Centre. All the Rangers boys would used to go, and only a few of Celtic, but they were winning everything at the time, so they could afford it. Yeah.
Hugo Ekitike. Did anybody see his outfit going into camp the other day? I'll show you.
No, I need to see it.
It's like he's got big, those big things that blow up and they flap about in the wind.
I know.
One of those.
It's fashion. I grew up with people like Bowie and Mark Boland and all these sort of guys, that glam rock. I grew up with that. And, they went into punk, and you had all that era as well.
But if you rock up wearing that jumper...
I couldn't now, could I? You have to grow out of it, Shebahn.
You either are...
Generally, you get more conservative as you get older. And the way you dress, the way you act, you just generally do. Most people do.
You a fan of the kits for the World Cup?
No, yeah, they're good. Can I ask you one?
Ask me. Anything.
Fashion accessory.
Go on.
I don't get these sort of. They're like sandal flip-floppy things that women wear with these.
What, Crocs?
Really, Crocs, the really expensive ones.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I think they look awful.
Crocs aren't known for being like an attractive shoe. They're like what you put on. Just
some of them are really, really expensive, aren't they?
What are you talking about? What
I don't know.
Crocs has Jo got?
Oh, she's got one pair that I laugh and say I don't like them every time she puts them on, but they're her favourites.
Have you ever seen dogs in Crocs? No. You now get Crocs for dogs. I'm not kidding. World's gone mad.
Well, the dog's not saying, what am I wearing this morning?
Some people will ask the dogs that, though. That's where we're at. Interesting all the same. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn Aherne Tony Cascarino is here in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter. Search VW Transporter to find out more. Coming up next, I know this man loves a Croc and a Louis Vuitton bag. Adrien Durham, talkSPORT's live of Voice of Football, is with us next, and he has found many positives from Wembley last night.
Every Thursday we'll be joining the studio by rapper and Spurs fan AJ Tracy. How are you?
How you doing, fella? Not too bad.
Good. Now, we spoke to you on the phone before. I've never met you, right?
You spoke to me on the phone before, yeah.
Okay, do I call you AJ, Trace?
You call me whatever you want to call me.
Yeah, but what do your pals call you?
AJ, Age.
Age,
yeah.
Okay,
Age.
nice to meet you, Age.
If we've had a beer, it's Age.
Age, okay.
Yeah,
we should do that, Mark, on Thursday.
Yeah?
Thursday's a great night to go out.
I heard the fridge is stocked over here. I might be here for...
Forget the food. We go across the road for a few. Can I ask what AJ stands for?
AJ, it's a multitude of things, but it's just a stage name that I thought makes sense. It sounds like a normal name, though. It sounds like a government name, which is why I picked that rather than one of these crazy aggressive rapper names. I thought something that will sell, something that a mother's not going to look at. If their kid wants the AJ Tracy record, they're going to be that name's crazy. I'm not going to buy the record. Just a nice, normal...
It's a friendly name.
It's a friendly name.
Yeah.
It's marketable.
Well, obviously it is because it works.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You said it, not me. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much for coming in.
No, thanks for having
What are you up to at the moment? We're going to talk loads. I know you're a big Spurs.
By the way, if I wasn't here with you, I'd be watching this. By the way,
how nice is that?
Of course I would. I watch.
Is it your favourite show?
Yeah, it is definitely.
Oh, that's nice of you. Well, you're our favourite artist.
Oh, appreciate that. Thank you. You had to say that.
You know.
Should
we ruin the conversation by talking?
Go ahead. Let's do it.
You're a Spurs fan, right?
I'm embracing myself. I am.
Are you looking forward to football in the Championship next season?
Look, the truth of the matter is, I, as a fan, I can't do anything about the situation. Is that accepted? Yeah, is that granted?
Yeah.
So the banter, I have to take it. Of course, I have to say, yeah, give it. That's fine. That's fair enough. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, I'd be doing the same. So that's fine. Yeah. You're gonna get out of the way. Second of all, if we are in the championship, I'll still be there. Obviously, I'm a Spurs fan. Of course, I'll be there. Of course, it's out of my hands.
talkSPORT Travel with Subway. Start your day the Subway with the mouth-watering Big Breckwich Sub. Breakfast of champions. Terrible date or dull Zoom meeting? No one needs to know you're cheating. All it takes is just one tap. Kill boredom dead with the talkSPORT app.
The talkSPORT app. Hear, watch and scroll unbeatable content from the world's biggest sports radio station. Whenever you want, wherever you want.
Good morning to you. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. We're on the Smart TV. We're on the YouTube channel as well. Do us a favour, if you're in a wee pub this afternoon, ask the landlord or landlady to stick on talkSPORT on the TV. All right, let's take over the pubs. Some of your headlines this morning. Tottenham Hotspur manager Martin Ho has signed a new long-term contract with the Women's Super League club. Spurs currently sitting 5th in the WSL table with 9 wins from 18 matches, with 4 games remaining and are 4 points away from beating their best points tally of 32 set in 21-22 season. Spurs have Arsenal today at the Emirates Stadium. That's at 5:30. Really looking forward to this game today. It's WSL kind of weekend, lots of derbies to look ahead to today. But Martin Ho, what a job. What a job Martin Ho has done, by the way. He's really, really flying there as Spurs manager. It's one of those situations where they can often be the best of the rest, but they've been strong this season. And fair play to him and the job that he's doing. Also, like when you're thinking about Chelsea, Cass, Chelsea, very well may not have Champions League football next season because Arsenal are 4th in the table on the WSL but have 2 games in hand.
Right.
So if they win those games, which I think they will.
What's happened to Chelsea?
I don't know enough about what's going on there at Chelsea. Something's not right.
They've had some really poor results. I've seen quite a few this year. They've just seemed way off the pace.
Well, Champions League midweek, they had Arsenal. And Chelsea started strong, hit the woodwork twice in like 10 minutes. Weren't clinical. They were disallowed a goal, which shouldn't have been disallowed. It should have stood, in my opinion, all day long. But also were not good enough. They're missing a bit of identity. You know, the Emma Hayes way was so clear and Sonia Bonpastor was for a while, but something's not right. Arsenal look like they could get to another final of the Champions League, which is crazy. Like we say, WSL weekend today, 12 o'clock, Everton, Liverpool, 1:30, Man United, Man City, and 5:30 today, Arsenal, Spurs. All of the updates coming for you on talkSPORT. And by the way, according to some of the latest back pages, Michael Carrick is closing in on permanently becoming the Manchester United manager. Sir David Beckham had his say on that current situation with the interim boss on talkSPORT Drive yesterday.
Yeah, Michael's got experience. I think he's got a calmness about him that he's brought into the club. He knows the club, he knows the players, he knows the way Man United play and way Man United should play. And I've always liked Michael as a coach. You know, when you look at him, there's a calmness. There's, you know, on the side of the pitch, there's, I don't want to say elegance because I'm not sure that's the right thing to say, but there's a elegance in the way he is, whether it's the way he celebrates, whether it's the way he gets angry. You know, all of those things are important in a manager, and I think that, you know, the way he's got the team and brought the team together has been incredible, and I think as a United fan, it's exactly what we needed.
Just quickly, do you agree with David Beckham?
Yeah, 100%. I think, you know, there's this idea of, you know, just because he's done well. I mean, it's not been they've had change of results. It's been an unbelievable change, as in where they are, the way they've performed in a number of games, that he absolutely deserved the chance to have the job.
Yeah. More from Sir David Beckham on Drive with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent yesterday when he got in touch with the show to have a chinwag coming up later on the weekend breakfast. Let's go back to Wembley then. Last night, Ben White suffered mixed fortunes on his international comeback. England were held to a draw, 1-1 by Uruguay in a scrappy Wembley friendly. So he was booed coming on to the pitch in the 69th minute following his return from a self-imposed exile after his early departure from the Qatar World Cup in 2022. He then gave England the lead and he got booed then as well, and then he gave away the penalty late on to Uruguay. Never a penalty. Let's speak to a man who was there, our voice of live football talk sports very own Adrien Durham. Aid, good morning to you.
Hi, Aid.
Shebahn, Tony, good morning. I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, I was listening last night. I didn't know David Beckham was coming on. I don't think anybody knew David
Nobody
Beckham.
knew. You just text Andy, let me come on.
It was fantastic. It was a great listen. One of those where you kind of, if you're in your car and you arrive home, you stay on the drive listening to it. It was brilliant, hanging on to his every word. And just on the WSL, I think you've hit the nail on the head with Chelsea. The reason it's going wrong is because Emma Hayes went. It took so long for that to take root, and Chelsea have got some problems now. I don't think they will be in the Champions League next season. Which
That's
is a huge
crazy.
problem.
That's unprecedented.
Also, look at the way the club is run as well. Both men's and the women's side of it. That's having an impact on the women's team as well. Their days of dominance are over. And Martin Ho, by the way, should be in charge of the Spurs men's team as well.
Yeah, that's a good point as well.
Let's get to last night, Aid. I think I know what's coming. What would you make of it?
Well, it was rubbish, wasn't it? I mean, well, it was. I mean, you're asking football fans to pay, a hefty ticket price to go and watch a team full of players, many of whom won't be in the World Cup squad. Now, for me, it was the height of arrogance from England to think that they've got a friendly couple of months out from the World Cup, and Thomas Tuchel, the manager, can say to the senior players, to the best 11, "Oh, you don't need to play in this one. We'll be okay. We'll be fine for the World Cup if you don't practice together." Do you really think that, mate? I'm not sure that's true. And on the Ben White thing, he's completely not read the room. What Thomas Tuchel needs to do is understand England fans better, and I thought he would have done by now. He's got a lot of positives, Thomas Tuchel, but this is a definite negative, and it's really counting against him. Last October, when we played Wales, he had a go at the England crowd at Wembley for not producing atmosphere, and then he picks Ben White. What does he think is going to happen? Ben White's going to be booed. This is a guy who walked out on his teammates. He walked out on a World Cup squad. And we still don't know. Nobody's had the decency. Ben White hasn't come forward to tell the paying England fans, who pay a fortune, by the way, to go worldwide to support their country and to back their players. Nobody has told those fans why that happened. And then he just waltzes straight back in. What did Thomas Tuchel think was going to happen?
Aid, it felt like a night of opportunity, but it ended with not anyone impressed enough to go, do you know what, they might make this final squad?
Look, I'm actually going to be quite positive here in terms of some of the individual performances, okay? I thought Harry Maguire was terrific. It was just lovely to see him carrying the ball over the halfway line like he used to. I think England have missed that from a centre-half, so that was fantastic. I thought he was terrific. James Trafford had a presence in goal. Stuart Pearce described it perfectly yesterday. He said in the last week with the cup final and this England performance, even though he didn't have a huge amount to do, he looked imposing in the goal. He looked comfortable on the ball as well. Made those 3 saves in the cup final. He's gone from boy to man. That's how Stuart Pearce described James Trafford in the last week. So that's a positive. I enjoyed Marcus Rashford in the first half in particular. He was trying to make things happen. A brilliant, mazy run, weaving past defenders on the left side. I thought that was absolutely superb. So I don't think it was all negatives as far as England are concerned. I think there were maybe a couple of others. Cole Palmer coming on. I think his place has been in doubt with regard to the competition between him and Phil Foden, certainly the way Tuchel's described it. But I think Cole Palmer really cemented himself in the mind of Thomas Tuchel last night. So listen, I don't think it was all negatives. Jed Spence did okay as well. I don't think it was all negatives. But overall, I think that it was one of those nights where you're not going to remember the game, really.
Very quickly, Adrien, did we find out any more why Ugarte wasn't sent off?
Well, my understanding was that the second one was for, I'm trying to mix up the first one and the second one. One of them was for dissent from Jimenez, the Atletico Madrid player, rather than for the foul by Ugarte, or the other way around. So one of the yellow cards looked like it was going to Ugarte, but it wasn't. Now, whether that's the case or not, I don't know.
Okay, but like you say, just not an exciting game all the same. The bit that seems to be taking all the headlines this morning is the Ben White boos. You're an England fan, Adrien. You absolutely love it. You live and breathe it. I just can't get on board with the whole Ben White booing situation because we just don't know what happened. I think everyone should take a giant chill pill.
Well, don't you think we deserve to know?
Yeah, no, I think that as well, but I mean, you can't force them to do that. So I think get on with it. He comes on, he scores the goal. Yes, he concedes a penalty. But it's not the end of the world. I feel like saying that he's walked out on his country. Yes, he took himself out of a situation. But making it sound like he did something really, really bad, I think it's all about overkill.
Man, it lasted 4 years.
Yeah, but it couldn't. I mean, Thomas Tuchel's asked him back in, right? So it couldn't have been that bad.
Yeah, but Thomas Tuchel's asked for atmosphere at Wembley.
Yeah, but you sound like you want his name in blood. Like, crack on, live his life.
I think the England fans deserve to know what happened. I think that's absolutely true. And I think that he needed to be put up in front of the media to answer those questions. That didn't happen before the game.
Ben White doing media gets you nowhere. Yeah, I mean, he's not great at media, I'll give him that.
Why does it get you nowhere? It gives you an explanation of what happened. How's that nowhere?
Because he won't say it.
The only thing I'd say, Aid, on it is that if you put Ben White in front of the microphone, he's a man of few words, so he's never, ever going to say anything, is he?
I don't think he'll make the situation better. All he can do is get on the pitch and do his talking there, and I think he did a bit of that last night.
Well, listen, he tapped in from 0.5 millimetre. If you do that in the World Cup final and it wins us the World Cup, then I'm all for him, absolutely. But I think there's a bigger picture here, and Thomas Tuchel has completely misread the fans, and those fans deserve to be respected given the amount they support England and the amount they pay to support England as well. I think that they deserve an explanation. Thomas Tuchel says he hasn't even asked about it, and I'm thinking, well, why would you do that? You're risking disrupting a camp by not knowing about it. It seems very bizarre. And we had that situation where he comes on, Harvey Barnes, who we all thought was Scottish, comes on, and it disconnects the fans from the team. I don't think Thomas Tuchel has realised this at all.
Somebody sent a message saying Adrien Durham might think Arteta deserves to be sacked after England's draw last night.
Well, I was thinking that, yeah, and I also think, like my Fiery Fridays take, Max Dowman should leave as soon as possible. By the way, you were talking about fashion. I don't know if you can see me on screen.
Have you got Crocs on?
No Crocs, but I have got my Scotland T-shirt.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
sir, I can boogie.
Very good.
I'll be burning that before the World Cup.
Adrien Durham, our voice of live football. Thank you so much.
Cheers, Aid. Bye-bye.
Love you.
Love you too. Don't forget the talkSPORT Daily England Debrief with Adrien Durham, Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce is available now wherever you get your podcasts and for free on the talkSPORT app. Coming up next on the Weekend Sports Breakfast, we'll look ahead to today's Sport in Action.
Stefan, the cost of missing out on the Champions League. If I throw four at you here, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United or Newcastle, missing out in Champions League, who would feel it most?
Yeah, I think Newcastle would definitely feel it the most, just because the base they're coming off is that much smaller. So therefore, the proportion that's associated with Champions League football is that much bigger. And they probably did something like £55 million of UEFA money. And then on top of that, obviously had the 5 home games on top, which are, or 6, probably 6 actually, when you, I think they had a playoff. So that's 6 home games on top. I mean, that's obviously very significant. So you're talking about 75 million quid. out of revenue of, let's say, 300 this season. You know, it's quite a big drop next season if it's not there. Now, obviously, they may get Europa or the conference. The conference doesn't really move the dial at all. And Europa, you have to win it really to make a meaningful difference. And that then brings you a Champions League place. So I think Newcastle will feel it the most. But it will definitely be painful for the others. It will be painful for Manchester United. It doesn't look like they're going to miss out. But if they did, of course, that would be the second consecutive season.
Yeah, Chelsea?
Chelsea, yeah, very much so, given that if you were to compare the financials for this year versus the season next year when they weren't in the Champions League.
More green jackets have been lost at the 12th than at the Augusta City Dry Cleaners. Rory McIlroy knows this better than most. But what is Amen Corner and why is it so iconic? The famous sequence has always been there since the Masters began in 1934. It didn't get its name until '58, though, when American sports writer Herbert Warren Wind, on the left, wrote, "At the farthest reach of the Augusta National Course, down in the Amen Corner." He drew inspiration from the 1933 jazz song Shouting in That Amen Corner by the Dorsey Brothers. The reason behind its difficulty is all in the sand and the water. Tournament officials don't even bother to count the balls lost in there each year, such is the sheer number. The 11th, named White Dogwood, is a downhill 520-yard par 4 with a pond to the left of the green and a bunker to the right. Both cause a lot of trouble each year. The 12th, Golden Bell, is perhaps the most famous hole in the world, with danger everywhere. Many aim for the flag, but look, get it even slightly wrong, and you're in the azaleas at the back, or the bunkers at the front, or even worse, Rays Creek. Or you can play it safe and aim for the open green on the left. You chicken. Tiger Woods once said, if you make 4 bogeys from Thursday to Sunday, you're doing well. And the highest ever score on that hole? 13. It's a par 3. Tom Weiskopf in 1980 was the sorry soul. Often the iconic Ben Hogan Bridge is the only thing players enjoy about Golden Bell. Even if you escape there unscathed, though, you met with Azalea, the dogleg par 5 13th. It tempts players to go for the green in 2, but cut over those trees on the left at your peril. Every year, it seems, Amen Corner destroys someone's dreams. Rory McIlroy dropped 3 shots through here as his round unravelled in 2011. In 2016, a year after navigating Amen Corner expertly, Jordan Spieth shot a quadruple bogey on the 12th to throw away his green jacket. I mean, it sounds like my game, to be honest. So who'll be the next to be brought to their knees, praying for mercy after Amen Corner?
Good morning, it's the weekend sports breakfast here on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn Aherne, joined by former Celtic, Chelsea and Marseille striker Tony Cascarino.
Good morning.
So Ben White went from hero to villain. England were held to a frustrating 1-1 draw against Uruguay. And despite giving the Three Lions the lead, there was a lot of mixed reaction to the man that put them ahead.
For the last 4 years, as I never play for England again. Now he scored potentially a winner for his country. Ben White from 10 inches out, and England lead Uruguay 1-0.
over to you, England fans. Do you agree with Adrien Durham? What else did Thomas Tuchel think would happen? Did Ben White deserve to be booed? 0371722 3344. Yesterday, Sir David Beckham joined Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent on talkSPORT Drive and thinks the England boss Thomas Tuchel is the right man to bring it home.
I think that what he brings is how meticulous he will be with every single detail that the England team actually need to perform in this World Cup.
More from David Beckham coming up on the show, and Alan Brazil's favourite, Moses Atoma. Oh, Moses, he looks the part. He takes on Jermaine Franklin as the headline act this weekend's Magnificent Seven in Manchester. Legendary boxing trainer Joe Gallagher thinks Atoma has the potential to be one of the greats.
There's an elite level weight in the heavyweights, and that's your Tyson Fury and your Usyk. Is he on that level? He's about to get on that level with a good performance this weekend, but I'm convinced he can do something. Not convinced yet. Has he got the potential to do that? Yes, he has.
Atoma Franklin live on talkSPORT tonight from 8 o'clock on Fight Night Live. It's the Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. Good morning. 03717223344 is the number. 81089 if you want to send us a wee text message and get in touch with the show. Lots of reaction to Adrien Durham's thoughts on Ben White. What do you think would happen? Thomas Tuchel bringing him back into the squad after 4 years of not being there, after walking out and turning his back on his country at Qatar 2022. Do you agree with Ed? I mean, if fans just going to boo, is that the way to help their voices be heard?
Well, as an element of what can you do, Shebahn? If you take back your own career and look back, and when you've had a difficult time and fans boo, they boo for a reason. If it's not playing well, if you've turned your back on your country or you've turned your back on your club. And unfortunately, that's part of why we love football in some ways, because football can be toxic and it can have that tribalism towards it. So we all get caught up in that.
Yeah.
And you can dislike a player because of, it's just what football is. It has huge following for a reason. And it reflects society in so many ways. I always used to think that about football.
All of the fallout from England's draw against Uruguay last night, and your thoughts on Ben White from our talkSPORT team at Wembley, live now on the talkSPORT Daily Podcast. It's time now for this. Right, 26th of April. It's the London Marathon.
All right.
Your ma, Shebs, myself, I'll be there trying to get it done. I'm currently training for it up to 15 miles, and as I've been discovering over the last few weeks, the recovery is just as important as the training. I've been doing the cryotherapy, the leg compression, suction cups on my back. I look like an octopus. I look like an actual tentacle. And a man who knows exactly all about recovery, a man who done 30 marathons in 30 days back in 2024, claiming a world record in the process, is Spencer Matthews, known from Made in Chelsea back in the day, and now for so much more. Welcome to the Weekend Sports Breakfast, Spencer. Good morning.
Hi, Spencer.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I was going to say, first of all, Spencer, are you mad? 30 marathons in 30 days?
Yeah. I think I'm quite sane, but no, it was great at the time. Very special experience.
Yeah.
What made you do this? Tell us about your journey.
Oh, I mean, like historically, I've had some issues with alcohol, and I kind of reframed my relationship with that. Went teetotal for a while, and just really fell in love with running and kind of pushing myself. I kind of swapped one thing for the other, really, and then decided that it would be a lovely follow-up from the Marathon des Sables and some other stuff I'd done to try to think outside the box and raise some money for charity. So that particular event that you were talking about raised 623 grand for kids mostly who are going up against some kind of really difficult challenges in their life. But I find that running generally, and marathon running in particular, is a really interesting and healthy trend, you could say. But I think it's a bit more than that. So many people now are running, and I think it's doing such wonderful things for their lives.
So tell us, look, Shebahn's doing only one marathon.
I know, what a
but tell us what, even for Shebahn to take on this, I mean, it's an hell of an effort. I mean, doing, what was it, 15 mile in midweek?
Yeah.
Yeah, a 15-mile run. How much preparation and how do you approach the race? Because obviously if you're just jogging round and then walking, but you're intending running the whole way, aren't you?
Running the whole way, yeah, hopefully.
So what advice can you give her?
There's no substitute for the time you spend on your feet. You know, the more you're out there working it, the easier race day will be. Try and treat race day as a kind of victory lap of all the hard work that you've put in, if you can. Recovery is obviously incredibly important. You know, it's easy to just go out and run and get really and damage yourself in the process. And you know, I think that it's really important to look after yourself and your body. I mean, you know, recovery, obviously, sleep, incredibly important, fueling, very important. But even you know, heat, cold therapies. There are even brands now, like, you know, if you there are shower gels, if you can believe it, that help with recovery.
Wink,
like,
wink, Spencer.
Tell
us all about
exactly.
it.
But honestly, if you take like Original Source as an example, they have a shower gel that mimics what it feels like to be in like an ice bath or to have a cold shower, even if your water doesn't go that cold, because obviously not everybody has access to sauna, ice. Obviously, these are two great things for recovery. You know, I was recently at a High Rocks event in London. That Original Source sponsored, and firstly, it's amazing to see how many people are into High Rocks. Like, Jesus, it's like it's unbelievable. I've never done one, but I was there, and it's you know, I think people are taking this style of stuff very seriously. Obviously, you know, if you are someone that likes drinking alcohol, maybe refrain from drinking alcohol, certainly in the lead up to the race, and yeah, spend lots of time on your feet, recover, use great products at your disposal for your recovery. But lots of sleep is obviously a great thing as well.
I need to get my hands on these shower gels then, because that's, I'd say, the only thing I've not really tried as yet, so I'll give that a go. And that's one thing I struggled with, Spencer. Speaking about fueling, I remember the day that I had the 8 mile run, going, I'm so hungry. And I'd eaten that morning, and I felt that I'd eaten all the right things, and realising actually, well, if you're burning how many calories, you need to be fueling at the same time. It's all a really good lesson. How much of it is mental strength as well, and what pushes you through doing 30 marathons in 30 days?
The mental side of things obviously is very real, you know, but the more you look at the science and the data, and, you know, you were just talking about fueling there, you know, everyone has a level of glycogen, which is essentially how many carbs you have in your system. If you have enough carbs to push through a hard effort, in theory, your body won't break down, right? Because you have enough fuel. Same as if you're driving a fast car and it's full of good oil and it's full of good fuel, you can drive it, you know, for a much longer time period than if you're using the wrong fuel and they're running out of oil. So, you know, just topping up your carbs with good gels in the race, I would say, is essential. Maybe every like 20-25 minutes, something like that.
That much?
If you're really pushing yourself, you know, obviously you can go out and run a marathon and not push yourself into those high heart rate, you know, zone 4 or even beyond zones where you're essentially on borrowed time. You want to just, you know, try and listen to your body a bit as well.
I've got to ask you.
But enjoy it as well. The more you enjoy it, the more you smile. And the more you treat it as an incredible day out. I mean, the London Marathon is amazing. It's the most wonderful event. Write your name on your chest so that everyone screams your name.
I'll get pelted by eggs. My name's on it.
You'll have all the support in the world, and honestly, it'll feel like you're kind of floating around on a magic carpet for loads of it. It's great fun.
Spencer, I've got to ask you just briefly. You've done the 1 to 30. Is there one particular run you remember in that 30 you've gone, oh, the 26 was impossible, I don't know how I got through that?
It's so funny that you say it was the 26th that was the
weird.
Well, no, I was thinking of a number that you're going, well, nearly at the end, but I'm just about done.
26 wasn't great for a number of reasons. It was a very, very, very hot day. We had to start late because there was an issue with GPS. Can't remember what border we were on, actually. I'm not just saying that, but we were on a border that was jambling, that was kind of jamming up our GPS, and we had to reroute, and it was quite a boring day because we had to just go back and forth for a couple of K back, and because the maps weren't loading properly, and that was quite heavy on the mind. We ended up near this plantation, and the flies were horrendous. Like you couldn't sit still at the end, so you finished the marathon, and then you had to walk around till about 6 p.m. so all day, because the flies were so bad. There was nowhere to sit indoors. And so there'd just be hundreds of flies on you. You couldn't eat anything because the flies would land everywhere. And it was, that was a long old day.
Well done to you for doing it, and thanks very much for your tips. We can get more of that on your Instagram. I see that you've got a lot going on, and you've really turned things around for yourself as well. You know, you're in a really good place. Can I just say one thing before we go? Of course. When I had my kids and they were napping, I used to go on Instagram Live and do workouts to your wife's Instagram Vogue. I have had a crush on her for many, many years. So please pass that on. Maybe we can get drinks after the marathon, Vogue and Joanne McNally, and we can have some fun.
Yeah, I've also had a crush on her for quite a few years. She's downstairs asleep. It's 4 a.m. where we are. But I'll send your love to her. And I think she is around for the London Marathon. She's coming to support me. So why don't we see if we can grab that drink afterwards?
I'll find her. I'll do it. Listen, sleep well. Get back to bed if it's 4 a.m. And thanks so much, Spencer, for coming on. Appreciate your tips.
Cheers, Spencer. Bye-bye.
Guys are great. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Take care of yourself. Spencer Matthews there, formerly known from Made in Chelsea.
Yeah, well, I've heard the series. I've not seen it, but yeah.
So different to the Made in Chelsea days. It's funny. Lovely stuff coming up for you next. We're going to get the latest odds with Coral. By the way, if you're doing your London Marathon, good luck with the training. It's full on, but recovery is important as well. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter, working with you.
You played in Korea and Japan, didn't you? World Cup in 2002. Did you find it hard, the weather conditions to play in?
They are tough, and in South Africa as well. We played a game, and then the altitude, the ball moves different and everything. And if you're not used to it, as we know, we all love to go on holiday in the summer, but playing football, running around in that heat and that weather, it takes its toll at the time, and we're just not a nation that's used to that. So that's one of the major things I look at when it comes to that tournament being over there.
What about strikers? We know Harry Kane's going to go, but if you looked at the Euros, he was injured, wasn't he? And Gareth Southgate was still playing him. Maybe he didn't trust other strikers in the squad. What do you think of tonight? Do you think Solanke and Calvert-Lewin have to put in a performance?
I think it's their chance of breaking in, isn't it? It's their chance of solidifying themselves in that talk of being the one to take over, because we really don't know who's going to take over from Harry Kane or what it's going to look like after he leaves. I was always an advocate for Ollie Watkins, because he just gives you something different.
Yes.
At times, Kane comes to feet a lot. He's fantastic at turning, sliding people in and then getting shots off, etc. But what about sometimes you get in behind? And that's what Ollie Watkins gives you. But one thing you got to remember, we've got two wingers, two left wingers.
morning to you. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn Aherne. Former Chelsea and Millwall striker Tony Cascarino is here. And, have you ever done a marathon?
No. And I have no intentions of doing one.
That's the spirit.
I couldn't. My knee wouldn't last. I don't mean it in the wrong way. So whenever anyone does the marathon, I'm very willing to support them, and I'll support you.
Thank you.
When you do it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'll give you some, them chocolate bars?
Yeah, you gave me a protein bar this morning. There's peanut butter in that. There's lots of protein in peanut butter.
I'll support anybody that does it, but I'm not doing it myself. I just say, whatever you want.
Can I get £100? But it's not for the fundraisers. It's just
for you.
Yeah, please. That'd be nice. Buy me something. Right, let's get the latest odds now with Coral.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Coral, the home of a free-to-play Golden Rewards Shaker. 18 plus max 1 reward per player per selected Shaker day. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Restrictions and T's and C's apply. Gambleaware.org.
Good morning, Dave Stevens. How are you, sir?
David.
Good morning, Shebang. Morning, Cass. I'm in excellent form on this sunny Saturday morning.
Yeah, it's a lovely day. You're looking very well, David. I can see that.
I said that yesterday. He's got his tan on. It's Ben White tan.
Marriage suits you, Dave.
Well, yes, it does, Cash. You're right. I'm only doing that once. This was a little post Cheltenham holiday. Yeah. Cheltenham wasn't quite as hectic as usual. I don't know what the coincidence.
Something was missing.
Yeah. It was a bit more chilled this time.
It was great, wasn't it? It seems a long time ago now. But yes, anyway, thank you very much. It was all very polite. It's not what I'm used to.
There you go. Yeah. Let's talk about the friendly tonight, shall we? Maybe it'll be more exciting than last night's football. We've got Scotland-Japan.
Yeah, I was on with you and Gab yesterday. I did fancy the draw in the England-Uruguay game. Just gonna mention that again. But what are you hoping for tonight, Shebahn? I mean, Japan ranked 19 in the world.
They're good. Yeah, they're a good side. Yeah. Obviously, we know a lot of the J-League players that came to Celtic back in the day, and Japanese players there. We know their quality. Good side. So I don't think it's going to be an easy one for Scotland tonight, but certainly a good game to play ahead of the World Cup.
Yeah. Japan are favourites, 6-5. Scotland 11-5, so just over 2-1. The draw is 12-5. A bit like last night. I fancy Hampden will surely be rocking for this one. 78 days until that World Cup opener, by the way, Scotland fans. I'm sure you're counting it down anyway. But I don't know, Cass. We're going to hope for Scotland tonight. More than capable of getting a point, do you think?
Well, only from what I've read is that, the Japanese feel that they've got the best Japanese team they've had ever. So that's why the optimism, because if you'd have said to me what price would Scotland and Japan be, I wouldn't have thought Japan would be the favourites.
Yeah, I must admit, it came as a surprise to me when I was looking at this game yesterday. Funnily enough, I heard Sam Matafei say that on commentary last night, didn't he? He said he'd been talking to a Japanese journalist who said this is the best. Look, the best Japanese side ever, with the greatest respect. I don't know what that actually means, but they did beat Brazil in a friendly last autumn. So, but yeah, look, in terms of Scotland, Shea Adams, 11-2 to open the scoring, Lyndon Dykes, 6-1. A bit like last night. I think punters will really be waiting to see what that team selection is before they get stuck in on bets like that.
Before we go racing, boxing, Moses Atoma fighting tonight. He's going to be short. It's how short, and more likely picking around, isn't it?
Yeah, this is always in honour of Big Al, isn't it? We mentioned he's been a Moses fan for some time now. He shouldn't have any issues tonight. 25-1 on to beat Jermaine Franklin, who's 10-1, 25-1 the draw. I mean, you're right, Cass. Moses to get this done in rounds 1-5 is just even money. 6-10 is 12-5. So it feels like, look, I read a piece actually that, talk of him, having a world championship fight is a tad premature at the moment, but I think he's 13 from 13. This is arguably his toughest test to date, but we don't think it will be much of a test. So Big Al, Moses. He goes on, Moses.
Damn. Yeah.
I must apologise. I did that accent yesterday. I listened back. What a terrible Alan Brazil impression I've got.
Nobody does a good Al Brazil accent anyway, or impression. We all just could continue to do it. He'll find a wee sneaky place in Marbella, I would imagine, to sit and watch the fight tonight. Quickly for today's racing, please, Dave.
Yeah, look, really good day. Started the turf flat season at Doncaster, the Lincoln, the traditional curtain raiser, La Botte for Jamie Spencer's the 7-2 favourite for that one. It's actually a big day over in Dubai.
Ooh.
It's the Dubai World Cup card. It's for understandable reasons. It's been sort of slightly low key this year, but lots of good horses. The Japanese superstar Forever Young is odds on for the Dubai World Cup. which would be live on ITV4 later. Calandagan and Ombudsman are a couple of the other stars in show. But the big star of the day could be over at the Curragh in Ireland, where Aidan O'Brien takes the raps off Albert Einstein, who's the 2000 Guineas favourite. So he's going to be very exciting. And Gab put me on the spot yesterday with the F1. So, Gab, I hope you're tuned in, because I said I would have these odds for you. Practice of qualifying has finished. Kimi Antonelli has pole position. He's now 1-2 to win this Japanese Grand Prix, 7-4 George Russell. So a good day in qualifying for the McLarens. But Gab, I hope you're listening.
There you go, Dave. You're across it all, the master of his trade. Dave, have a good Saturday. Thank you.
Cheers, David.
Cheers, guys.
That was a look at the latest odds with Coral. 18+, begambleaware.org. Please gamble responsibly.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18+, gambleaware.org.
So coming up for you next, we're going to get Cass's current first choice England 11 if the World Cup and their first game was underway tomorrow. And we'll get the latest on Tiger Woods following his car accident last night. It's the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Morning.
Liverpool have announced on Tuesday the cost of attending a match at Anfield is going to increase. It's going to go up by 3% next season, following further increases in line with inflation over the next two campaigns. They've decided to do this despite consulting with the Liverpool FC Supporters Board, a decision which was firmly opposed by fan leaders. Liverpool have revealed that adult general admission tickets, which currently cost £39 to £61, are going to rise between about £1.25 and £1.75. Adult season tickets, priced at £713 to £904, will increase by £21 or £27. They say the cost of junior tickets and local general tickets available to those with a Liverpool postcode would remain frozen. Fenway Sports, though, the owners of Liverpool, have been in charge since 2010, haven't increased prices on the Kop since they took over in 2010. So I suppose the big question is why have they decided now to put up the prices, and why do they believe that they need to go up over the next 3 years in line with inflation?
Maybe because they smashed the British transfer record not once but twice last summer. Someone's got to foot the bill for that. Maybe because there's a realistic possibility they miss out on Champions League football this season.
Good morning, you're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Looking nice out here in London this morning.
Glorious.
Blue sky, sunshine. Perfect for a little...
Oh, I'd love to today, but I can't.
Oh.
I could do it, but I could find someone to play with. All my mates are doing something.
Don't let Jamie Aherne hear you. When would Cass want to go for a round of golf?
I'll
Keeps asking.
definitely have a game of golf with him one day. I mean, it'll be way better than me because I don't play enough.
Well,
I do love the
sometimes
game.
he's absolutely mince. He'll be out for days and days on end, and he'll be like, I got worse. And I'm like, and that's what
that
you
is
get for
one-
leaving me at home.
I go backwards. When I haven't played for a while, and initially the first time I play okay.
Okay.
But after that, I tend to go backwards, and it takes a while, but then I start improving again.
Master's just around the
It's
corner.
really
by the
weird.
way.
Oh no, can't wait.
Oh, get your excuses in early for why you won't be talking to your
It's
partner.
all right back. I always go for someone. I always go for an outsider, even though favourites do, or so the very best win this tournament a lot.
Just around the corner, looking forward to it. Here's what's coming up for you on talkSPORT today. Following us, Max Rushton and Charlie Baker have the warm-up from 9 o'clock this morning. And then at 11 o'clock, welcome back to talkSPORT. Former Forest and Everton manager Sean Dyche is going to be here alongside Johnny Owen. That should be a good show. He's all over the papers today. Sean Dyche, Spurs reportedly weighing up and bringing him in to save them from relegation.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yeah?
Obviously, if Sean's coming in today, do you think that he would be coming in if the Tottenham job was up for grabs?
Well, it doesn't seem like Tottenham are hot on making calls just yet, or like phoning them, so I would imagine he'll...
I mean, if he got it, great. But do you know what I mean? I don't imagine he's going to come in and do
a full
talkSPORT
radio
on a
show
Saturday
with these
and then-
reports on the day.
And by the way, this weekend he's going to take the Tottenham job.
Yeah, they probably are weighing it up, but they've probably not called Sean yet. He's probably reading it in the papers with us this morning.
Hey, look, if he gets it, great for him. Great. It's a great opportunity if he did.
Find out more from 11 o'clock with Johnny Owen and Sean Dyche today on talkSPORT. Over on talkSPORT 2, you've got 3 games from the Gallagher Prem. 1 o'clock here, Saturday session with our Natalie Sawyer, and kick off from 5 o'clock with Ollie Klink with all of your calls on today's action. And Fight Night Live from Manchester. Moses Atoma takes on Jermaine Franklin from 8. Download the talkSPORT app. Stay across absolutely everything on the talkSPORT app. Last night we got this news that Tiger Woods has been involved in a 2-vehicle accident near his home on Jupiter Island. His Land Rover reportedly clipped a truck while attempting an overtake, causing the vehicle to roll onto its side. Here's talkSPORT's Hugo Chambry with the latest.
Tiger Woods spent 8 hours in police custody after being arrested and charged with driving under the influence in Florida yesterday. The 15-time major champion had no alcohol in his system, but he refused to take a test for other substances. Officers said he was clearly lethargic when they pulled him out of his car, which had flipped onto its side. Woods suffered horrific leg fractures in a car crash 5 years ago and has barely played competitive golf since. He was also found to have Xanax and Vicodin in his system when he was arrested for another DUI back in 2017. There were questions about whether or not he'd play in this year's Masters in less than 3 weeks' time. Now that idea seems highly unlikely, as does the prospect of him ever repeating his 2019 green jacket fairy tale. Another twist in the story of golf's most compelling character.
Oh dear.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And the pictures don't look good. Again, he's lucky to have gotten out of this one. Joined by talkSPORT's golf correspondent Rupert Bell this morning. Hi, Rupert. How are you?
Hi, Rupert.
Very good. Morning, Tony.
Good to see you. My father-in-law, Rupert Bell.
Well,
I
I think we better have divorce lawyers are going to be busy by the sound of things, Shebahn, but that's another story.
Let's just start our
Anyway.
rumours. Listen, let's talk about Tiger, shall we, Rupert? Because we've just seen the pictures. If you're watching on the smart TV, his car rolled. It's all over the back pages. Another bad one for Tiger Woods.
Yeah, it's not, we think he's had a series of these. First back in 2008, when obviously his marriage then, after crashing, and then that was back in 2008. We've heard about other instances since. The most serious of those was back in 2021. But it's just another saga in Tiger Woods' soap opera of a life. And yes, he didn't have any alcohol in his system, but the county sheriff said there were signs of impairment. Now, of course, we know he's had countless back operations. What medication he may be on, we don't know. But he obviously refused to take a urine sample. He was held in jail for 8 hours, separate from any other inmates, because they did sort of almost have a slight duty of care, because obviously if he's suddenly, as famous as personality as that, with other people in jail, would have been, something they thought, well, we can't deal with that. But it is still an issue that, Tiger Woods, driving again, possibly, as they said, way above the speed limit in a sort of restricted, I think, speed limit area in Jupiter Island, not far from where he lives. And of course, now we talk about the Masters. Well, you'd have to say, why? Yes, we saw him playing earlier in the week, but this at 50, really, do we want to see him being a shadow of his former self? I know he's the most hypnotic player out there and drives eyeballs to the television, but do we really want to see a player who is no longer the force he once was, mainly because of all the injuries that he's sustained to his body?
Rupert, not so long ago, I was watching him play with his boy, and he does that partners, father and son tournament in America, which is great fun. And I feel like that's his place now. When you've had so many, as you described brilliantly, the injuries that he's had and the things he's probably had to take just to get himself walking around, because Tiger's had unbelievable amount of operations.
Yeah, back injuries. He nearly lost his leg in the crash in 2021. Look, he's a 15-time major winner. Look, he's not going to equal, I don't think, barring the most extraordinary return to form, Jack Nicklaus's record of 16. But 15 is still extraordinary. He's won 88 times on the PGA Tour, yet his body has been through the ringer. Some from car crashes, some from probably just wear and tear and playing golf with the intensity that he did. So I think, could he play on the Champions Tour? Is that somewhere where he could sort of find a niche? And yes, it would be fantastic for the Champions Tour. But maybe deep down, and he doesn't want to just be a bit part player, just someone who's almost the element of a slight freak show about it. But, this is, the fact is, even this latest instance shows the pulling power, the power of his name. What golf, have they got anyone as equal Tiger? Probably not now. Rory does his best, and yes, there's one or two other charismatic players, but no one transcends the sporting universe like Tiger Woods. Even, now in his sort of in days he battles back. But we saw him earlier in the week playing in that simulator golf event, which and that's great, and he doesn't have to walk far. He just walks to a computer simulator and hits a golf ball. So it's a very different environment to trying to walk 18 holes at Augusta, which, as anyone who's been there, it's far hillier than it looks on the television.
I mean, look, I know it's easy for me to say, I'm sitting here, but I think it would be really lovely if he just went, do you know what, I'm going to make my son the best player I can, or my daughter, because they're both great golfers, and commit to them and go, I'm not going to be Tiger Woods what I was 10 years, 15, 20 years ago, because his son's got a great chance of making it pro, hasn't he?
Yeah, but it's one thing looking good as a junior, as you know, any sport is that transitional phase. Now he's got all the chances. But maybe, why doesn't he just decide, right, I'm not going to play anymore, I'll become Ryder Cup captain.
Yeah.
Make a decision with that. He's President's Cup, you name it, he's working hard behind the scenes to try and sort of resolve all the issues within PGA Tour and Live and all these things. So he's still got a role to play within the game. So maybe that's what he should think about rather than striving. But as any, and you would know, Cass, and other sports people know, that nothing replaces competition.
Yeah.
And, I've obviously... We were at Cheltenham recently. We know ex-jockeys who struggle with that adrenaline rush of winning, and footballers, likewise, cricketers. It's so different just in retirement, because that's what you got your kicks from. And sadly for Tiger, maybe he's still striving for past glories, but his body is not so willing.
All right, Rupert Bell, our golf correspondent. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Rupert.
Thanks, Rupert.
No problem at all.
See you again very, very soon. I don't know if you watched the Tiger documentary. Did you see that?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
It was talking about he'd pull in at the side of the road and get out and try and perfect his golf swing if he had a moment there in his head. He was all... I mean, he couldn't...
Well, he's obsessed.
But it's obsession, so imagine it's really hard for him to stop.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Rory McIlroy talked about he'd get phone calls at 2 o'clock in the morning, or it'd be 2 o'clock in the morning in America, and he'd be in the gym and messaging Rory.
Yeah.
This is a total obsession with trying to get the best goal from fair play. I mean, look, he's an unbelievable player, he was. And it's just sad to see someone sort of in their demise of things going wrong off the track. You know?
You'd have concerns for his welfare there.
Yeah.
I think you would. More on the Tiger Woods story on our website at talksport.com. Now, yesterday, English football royalty picked up his phone and got in touch with talkSPORT. Sir David Beckham joined Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent on talkSPORT Drive. Sir David weighed in on England's World Cup squad, and after Trent's shock omission, thinks he still has time to be part of Tuchel's plans.
I love Trent as a player. I've heard so many times over the years when he was at Liverpool, when he's at Madrid, when he's playing for England, about, well, he's not as good at defending as he is. Well, you have to take, sometimes you have to accept that. It was the same. Roberto Carlos was an unbelievable defender, but he was also unbelievable going forward, and he'd always go forward, and then we'd have to cover him. So, those kind of things you expect. But with Trent, would I take him? I'd find it very hard not to take someone like Trent. But then Thomas is, he's come out and said, I think I read it this morning, that there are other players that are ahead of him at the moment.
I mean, if the World Cup were to start tomorrow for England and the game against Croatia, 17th of June was tomorrow, who do you think would be starting, and would you have Trent in there?
Well, no, I wouldn't. I would have him in a group, absolutely. Would I start him? That's against certain opposition, yeah. I mean, England, when they've got Croatia, Panama and Ghana. That's quite a tricky group as well. You don't want to have any complacency at all with that sort of group. But no, I wouldn't start him because I just think, the manager is not prepared to go with a defender that he thinks defensively is what he's wanting.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you want a team, do you want a team?
Go on then.
Tomorrow,
if you've got a starting 11 for tomorrow.
Okay, for tomorrow. Well, obviously there's quite a few players out injured. I'd definitely pick Pickford as the goalkeeper. Obviously Reece James is injured, so he can't go there. I'd go Livramento right back. John Stones or Maguire could be, but John Stones is injured as well. Konza, I think, will play alongside Mark Gay. That would be mine. Even though Konza hasn't played as well of late when I've watched Villa. So it's Konza, Gay. Nick O'Reilly definitely left back. Lewis Hall's very close, but I still think O'Reilly's a freak. No, a freak as in the size of him and the way he plays. He really is. I'd go Rice, Elliot Anderson in midfield. Saka on the right. Yeah. Obviously Bellingham would be my choice in the middle. But because of who we got available, or England got available, is Cole Palmer. So I'd go Palmer, Elliott and Rice. And then I'd have Morgan and Rodgers on the left.
Okay.
I think Morgan Rodgers is most definitely his best position is on the left. And Kane, so it'd be Kane, Saka and Morgan Rodgers.
Interesting. Okay.
That's tomorrow. But you've got to look at how many players that could come in, and who would be fit. But yeah, I'd still stay with Saka. Even though people have said, about Saka, if you go back, and it's still this season, scoring against Serbia for England and scoring against Wales, in the previous internationals, I think Saka's never, ever let England down when he's played.
He's not.
It'd still be my choice. Even he's had a difficult time of late. He started the season with Arsenal, okay. I think there's been a bit of an overreaction to him, as in, he's been terrible all season. No, he's not. That's unfair. He's not played as well of late, but to say he's been terrible is totally not on.
And it looks like he's winning the league and still in for three other competitions as well. Okay, don't forget, England's friendly against Japan is coming up for you Tuesday night live here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll look ahead to Manchester's showdown tonight. Moses Atoma takes on Jermaine Franklin, that face-off. Former IBF middleweight champion and Chelsea fan Darren Barker is with us next to look ahead to the fight night.
with Mo Salah leaving, a lot of commentators have talked about the fact there's a lack of icons in the Premier League. Obviously, last year we had De Bruyne leave. You've had, over the course of the last few years, you've had Ronaldo back fleetingly. You've had Ibrahimovic here fleetingly. But the big boys don't come to the Premier League, do they? I mean, Haaland is probably the only global icon that is still there. Would that be fair? I mean, Son's not there anymore. De Bruyne's not there anymore. Salah's going. Kane, Ronaldo, Zlatan, all gone. Mbappe, Vinicius, Bellingham, Messi, Neymar. They would rather play elsewhere. Why?
That's a very good question. I don't think there's as many superstars today as there kind of has been in the past. Obviously, Messi, Ronaldo were the two superstars, and no one could get anywhere near them. And that doesn't mean to say that others like Neymar and Luis Suarez weren't. What I would say is, I think Real Madrid's, whatever you say about Manchester United, even when they're at their pomp, that I think are the biggest club in the world, the most attractive club in the world. You could argue maybe even Madrid in terms of just living there as well, I think is incredible. Barcelona too. You think about that Barcelona team of Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, Puyol, just absolutely sensational. And you look at Real Madrid now, Vinny Jr., Mbappe, Bellingham. Who else have I missed? I think the general ones, they've always had the very, very top ones have probably gone to La Liga and Real Madrid. Whereas the Premier League, it's almost like the next section down, but deep.
And also that bizarre story about the wildlife park in Kent, which decided to euthanize its entire wolf pack. Something which resonated with me because my daughter, bless her, when she was 12, sponsored a wolf pack called Apollo, and we're wondering if he's been chopped as well. So there's that. But of course, we're also talking about Iran. We've got Will Wexler from the Atlantic Council trying to fathom out what the hell Trump is up to and what's going to happen next. And do you remember Kenny Baden on my show last week talking again about shoplifting and how people should be prepared to confront shoplifters? The co-op this week seemed to be suggesting that employees who did confront shoplifters would be summarily sacked. So we're talking to the boss of the co-op, and there is no more loyal co-op man in the country than me. My family are buried with them. I've got a bank account with them, and I do leave all my shopping there. So I'm going to couple up. Yeah, good shops. Cheers.
A very good morning to you. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. The chats we have in the breaks, Cass? Shebahn Aherne alongside Chelsea FA Cup finalist Tony Cascarino this morning.
I can't believe you did that.
There you go. Some of your headlines you're waking up to. Kimi Antonelli took his second pole position in a row, as he beat Mercedes teammate George Russell in qualifying at the Japanese Grand Prix. All the updates coming for you early tomorrow morning on Weekend Breakfast. And earlier we spoke to Rocky Clark, who is taking part in the race to the Slater Cup, which raises money for 4ED Foundation, Ed Slater and Lewis Moody and the wider MND community and families who are living with it. It's a cycle race between teams from rugby legends from Gloucester and Leicester, and their home stadiums heading to Villa Park, and that's where the two sides will meet today. It's going to be live on talkSPORT 2. The captains being Martin Johnson and Mike Tyndall are all ready to go.
Hi talkSPORT, Martin Johnson here. We're just getting ready to race Gloucester to Villa Park for the Slater Cup game. Weather's good at the moment, so we're all looking forward to it at high spirits. We'll see how long that lasts when we hit the first hill.
Morning talkSPORT. I am here at the launch pad of the Gloucester cycle team. I know that Jono is somewhere at Welford Road, but yeah, we're ready. Sun is out. Guns aren't out yet. It's still a bit chilly, but they'll be out later, don't worry.
Good luck to you guys. Mike Tyndall there. By the way, Martin Johnson, MJ, they've put it on 0.5 to be able to fit him in the camera. It's the smallest we'll ever see Martin Johnson.
Oh, dear.
Good luck. All the money raised going to MND charities, which is very, very important. All the action from the Gallagher Prem over on talkSPORT 2 today. Let's do this.
The talkSPORT 20k giveaway.
We are giving you the chance to win 20 grand, completely tax-free. £20,000 could be yours. All you have to do to enter is text the word WIN to 83338 now. It's that simple. Text the word WIN and you could be 20 grand up. Text are £2.50 plus your one standard network rate, or call this number 0343 418 7260. That's 0343 418 7260. Lines close 9th of April at 4 in the afternoon. If we call you, you have to answer for your chance to win. It's 18 plus, UK residents only, a full network promotion with all of the terms and conditions on our website, talksport.com. 20 grand, a bit of that, yes please. For your chance to win, text the word WIN to 83338 now. Good luck. And tonight is Fight Night, live heavyweight boxing from Manchester. Moses Atoma takes on the never been knocked out Jermaine Franklin. There's a lot of love, a lot of hype surrounding 21-year-old Moses Atoma. Let's look ahead to this one with former British boxer Darren Barker. Good morning, Darren. Thanks for coming on.
Hi, Darren.
No, my pleasure. Good morning.
Darren, I wanted to ask you straight away, because obviously the talk around Moses has been going on for at least a few years, and he's still only 21 years old. Now, sometimes in sport, you see people that you go, going to be a big name straight away. Would you have had that feeling when you first saw Moses?
Yeah, do you know what, Tony? He's incredible. He really is. You know, if I sort of relate it to football terms, you know, you see that, although I'm a Chelsea fan, although I remember watching Thierry Henry in his prime, I'm thinking, you've mastered this sport, you know, yeah. Messi and Ronaldo. And you can just see it from young. And he was that man in boxing. The ease in which he just dispatched his opponents, you know, every component required to go all the way, he was showing early, you know, speed, ring IQ, a physical maturity and a mental maturity above his age. You know, still only 21. It's remarkable that the man is the real deal.
Well, we see Daniel Dubois break through at a very young age, didn't he? And obviously, along the way, he's found, you know, it's a lot harder. You come against the savvy senior guys who have been there, done it, who can get themselves around the ring. So Moses feels like he's ahead of where Daniel was.
Yeah. I mean, he's never lost. He never lost as an amateur. It's incredible. He's just a remarkable talent. Every now and again, they come by it, don't they? And rightly so, we're celebrating him. But he's in with a man this time. As you say, he is savvy, he is experienced. He knows what it takes to win. Last time out, he beat an unbeaten 15-0, a guy who had 15 wins, and 14 of those were from knockout. He beat this guy, Ivan Daicho. So he knows how to upset the apple cart. Like we remember Jermaine Franklin for his 2 losses against Anthony Joshua and the controversial one versus Dillian White. But I think he's grown since those defeats, and he's a very capable fighter. We will find out more about Moses Atoma tonight.
Yeah, and a lot of, obviously, the British public are very excited about watching a guy that, you know, like the Tyson days, and you always get matched up with somebody who have great of before. But, boy, you know, and Alan Brazil's a big fan of him, but the explosiveness of, you know, just when he lets leash, it's nearly unstoppable.
Yeah, he's intelligent with what he does. He's not risky, he's not greedy, he's calculated. His team, Ben Davis and Lee Wiley, they look at tape, they study their opponents. But once he gets a sniff of victory, you know, he doesn't let it pass. He's an exceptional talent. He really is. There's just so much to like, and I think for young kids out there, if you want to look at a fighter that shows so much promise, just watch Moses Atoma and copy what he does.
Well, you wondered if Jermaine Franklin's looking going, I've got a point to prove here, because I mean, really, it's been high favourite. It's going to be Atoma tonight. Are you going tonight, Darren? Are you going to go to the fight?
I'm there. I'm commentating tonight. We've got a busy night. Good. So I'll be live from 5 p.m. right through to 11. It's a brilliant undercard. It really is. Magnificent 7. 7 real meaningful fights where the pot of gold for the winner is massive and the loser, where do they go? So a lot to like. I'm just going back to before I come live. Did I hear 20 grand?
Yeah, you get yourself involved. Text the word win to 83338 now. Good luck to you, Darren.
Cheers, mate.
Former IBF middleweight champion Darren Barker going to be at the fight tonight. Don't forget, you can hear it all on talkSPORT's heavyweight season on DAZN as well. Looking forward to it tonight. Atoma takes on Franklin. Then 4th of April, Derek Chisora takes on the Bronze Bomber Deontay Wilder in both fighters' 50th fights. And 5th of May, you can look forward to Fabio Wardley. Makes his first defence of the WBO heavyweight title against former IBF champion Daniel Dubois in Manchester. That's huge. 3 huge fights, 3 huge nights, 1 destination. Get on to DAZN Unlimited now and access to every punch, every knockout, every moment on DAZN.
Boxing updates on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
Tomorrow at 6 in the morning, Cass.
Yes,
looking forward to it. Have yourself a great Saturday. The warm-up is on the way next with Max and Charlie on talkSPORT.